This is Girls Night Out, the podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 53 of Girls Night Out. I'm Gavin Stevens. No, we said last week we wouldn't do this bullshit this week.
All right, fine.
I'm Gavin Stevens, and with me is
Manolis Santanos, and to the left of me.
No, you said you wouldn't do it this week.
No, I didn't make you do it. It doesn't mean I can't do it.
Fine, you do whatever you want.
It's my favorite part, so...
To the left of me is...
Izzy Camiso, and to the left of me is...
Nick Tompkin, and to the left of me is...
Mace Scaloni, and to the left of me is...
Jordan Shear.
The long pause is really good. Thank
For
you.
a dramatic effect.
Yeah, it was so dramatic.
So last night, daylight savings time, you have to change your clock at 2 a.m.?
Was it 2 a.m.?
2 a.m.? No, I think it's 2 a.m.
It's 2.
It doesn't matter.
It's 2, it bumped up to 3. Daylight savings is bullshit. Oh, shit. People are going crazy. That was in protest of daylight savings. Seriously, though, daylight savings is bullshit.
Well, I mean...
What's bullshit about it? Like, that it just makes everything...
No, it doesn't make sense. We set our clocks back an hour, so it gets dark at fucking 5 o'clock. And then we set it forward again, so it's like, oh, no, let's just set our clocks back randomly so we get depressed as shit. So we go to work and it's dark. We come home, it's dark. And then, no, eventually we'll just set them forward again. Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me. Why don't we just leave it forward?
Why do we change it? Does anyone know?
It's one of those topics, like, I'll be like that. It's like, it's bullshit. And then somebody will be like, oh, it's important because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, well, I need the blah, blah, blah in order for me to say
I don't remember what
if
it
I
is.
think it's bullshit or not.
I think it has to do with farmers.
No, it doesn't.
I know fucking farmer.
We have the internet here, right?
Something about farmers and farmers' daughters, I think.
Yeah, we have the internet. I can look it up. Do you want me to look it up here?
I don't know.
I don't even give a shit.
Yeah.
I honestly don't give a shit.
You
I
don't
just
care
go
about
along.
daylight savings? You just gotta find a passive
No, I don't like
observer.
it, but I don't care. My phone does it automatically.
I think it's so fucking stupid. I think daylight savings is so stupid.
I think there's dumber things in the world than...
Yeah,
you
like
can say it,
people
man.
who work at McDonald's.
Don't be scared
but
of it.
Yeah, but there's one night where you get an extra hour
Halloween?
at the bar, so I enjoy that.
Yeah,
But then you lose an hour.
yeah, then you lose the hour
but
now.
the bar doesn't...
No, doesn't
They don't
hurt it.
adhere to
They
it,
don't
true.
adhere
You can always
that.
drink at home, too, right?
Yeah, I know.
The thing about that,
Well,
it pisses me off, is that not everything is on board with it. Like, my car, for example, it can get traffic information from a GPS or a satellite in the sky or whatever, but it won't adjust the daylight savings time automatically. The phone does it. Half the things you go and do it, and half of them don't. That's kind of like the thing that pisses me off the most with it. It's like
We live in a really simple society.
Yeah.
If that's we're like, I can get satellite shit beamed to my car when I'm driving. I hate how it doesn't change something once a year.
That's because even the fucking car knows it's stupid. It's like, what? Who cares?
Yeah, but it's like technically like what we went an hour ahead, right?
Yes.
But before we go an hour back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So things like we get an hour back. It's like, do I get an hour more of life technically? Do I live an hour longer?
But now you lose it for
I
you
get
lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but time like that is. I'm not even gonna get into this.
It's not like my like if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. It's not like whoa, he's still got an hour, dude.
Yeah, but you're talking about a man-made construct of time.
That's what I mean. It's
doesn't
not
mean
real.
anything.
That's what I mean.
But I think it has to do
something
something with Greenwich Mean Time. I think it has something to do with balancing that or something like that.
Balancing
we should
what?
really.
Well,
Greenwich,
somebody
Greenwich
research
Mean Time
Somebody look it
is
up.
the exact point of time. That's where everything. It's a city in Switzerland, or
Well, it's just
Oh,
the
it's-
place they
It's in
picked.
Denmark.
yeah, but that's because it's where it is on the equator or whatever. Or
Oh, I don't know. I thought
And
it was
they-
just. I thought it time-wise.
no, they didn't just go. Let's make it here. Let's make it Hamilton. They didn't do that. It's a guy. It's actually a person's house or a building or something like that. And that's
really?
where it doesn't change. Time doesn't change, and so it's just. I think because of speeds with the sun and everything and the Earth that we lose time and gain time.
Time doesn't.
But how does it end up?
Time doesn't exist.
No, it does
Really.
exist.
No, but clocks exist.
Yes, but it's no, but time does exist. You are traveling through time. We're traveling through space.
But yeah,
And the idea that we get slower or faster at certain points of the year makes sense.
Can I ask you a question? Just off topic. Are you purple?
No, we're all purple.
We're all purple. Well, then 1, 2, 3. Why is
We're
there
up
only?
here.
Yeah, but there's only.
Because you only see, because I can't, it doesn't
Okay.
show the whole screen.
All right, so there is 6 bars.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
I'm
we've been
just-
testing for like that.
No, but I just see 1, 2,
you
3,
have to scroll
4,
down.
5.
You have to scroll down.
Okay, that's all I want to know. So I want to make sure we're all hooked
For
up.
everybody at home, he's looking at the computer screen, which you can't see.
Yeah, it's okay. He made
We're
it.
looking at time
It is a timeline.
But the Earth is moving, right? So
in a circle.
But I don't
yeah,
think
but we're moving in a circle, but we're also traveling in a circle.
But the daylight savings time doesn't have to do with time, like the pace of time.
What is it?
changing. It's just like daylight. The fact that we're
yeah,
on
but
a
that's
tilt.
because that comes from the speed of the Earth.
No, it comes from the Earth moving, and so
Right,
the
that's what I'm
sunlight
talking about.
hits it a different way. But the time isn't happening at a different pace. But that does happen too.
Yeah, but it is
Time
happening at a
doesn't-
different pace because then your daylight is different.
No, but that's not time. That's just that's literally just the daylight. But there's still you can define days by sets of 24 hours if you want to. Like that doesn't change. If it was like daylight savings time, now there's only 50 minutes in an hour. That'd be time changing pace.
Okay, yeah.
But that actually happens though. Like
yeah,
time
but what
is
you're
different.
But what I'm saying is that the speed that the Earth is going at is faster than what it was, or slower. I'm not
I
sure
don't think so. I don't think so.
because of the hour is changing.
The turn. No, we just leave the sunlight quicker because we're tilted away from it. So,
So, but
our part
but
of
you
the
just
Earth-
said we're leaving the sunlight.
But you know
quicker.
how like
But
the
it's
Earth
not moving
moves
faster.
Well, how about the Earth will move a certain way, like this, like so that's why we have a winter. Like how apparently we don't stay exactly the same, right?
It
The Earth-
stays. It stays like still. It doesn't say still. It's
we should look at the
spinning.
internet.
Hang
But
on.
it's
I wanna
like
hear
okay,
this.
so
Yeah, but
here's the sun.
The internet would make more
Fuck
sense
the
than
sun.
No,
I don't care
no.
about the sun. What?
No,
Earth.
but then we're going around the sun, but we're not. The axis of the Earth isn't straight along with how it's turning. It's
Right.
tilted.
tilted.
So it turns like this and like that. So,
right, but does it tilt the other way? That's why we have
No.
winters. Why
Well,
do we have winters?
Okay, so if this is the sun and we're on a tilt like that, it doesn't go around like that. So the one side is always tilted towards it. It goes around like
the whole
this.
thing's spinning.
So
Oh.
so the reason the winter
Oh.
happens is where we're in this part of the Earth where we're over here. Or wait, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't know the specifics, but
So it's where we are around the sun is why we have winters.
yeah.
Well, our axis is tilted in such a way that we get less sun at certain
Yeah.
parts of the year. Yeah,
Yeah, but
So how
Are you
can
guys
we fix
Googling
that?
but it's not a perfect circle.
You don't want
No,
fix
it's
it.
an ellipse, but
right,
it's
so you're
close.
going to pick up speed at certain points.
That's true, but I don't think it has to do with. I don't think it has to do with that.
Well, how can
We should look it up.
how
we
can
should,
we
but-
fix this winter thing?
Saskatchewan doesn't fucking.
To LA.
Yeah.
That's how we can fix it.
I
We
watch
what?
a lot of
If we
Brian
move
Green.
to LA, that's how we can fix the winter thing.
Did you get that?
No, there's like hardly any signal down here. That's why I
Okay.
use your Wi-Fi. But
Okay, here. I'll give it to you.
The thing that doesn't make sense to me is that we set it back an hour, and then we set it forward an hour, so we end up at the same fucking time before we set it back.
I think that it's just to keep it relatively consistent.
Depressing?
So that, well, so that it's like when
What's the point?
so that when it's like 2, it's like kind of the same part of the day as it would be. You know what I mean? Like because if the daylight is changing, I don't really know. I don't want to try to
save it.
defend it. I'm playing the devil's advocate.
They're saving some daylight for you. I don't know how it works.
No, they're actually getting rid of it, and then it just makes it like, why don't we just leave it how it is right now?
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like,
I don't get daylight
Run
savings.
for
I don't
office,
understand
man.
this shit.
because
Yeah.
we're getting more sunlight and less sunlight, apparently.
Did anyone see that?
The days are getting longer the warmer we get.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, it's not.
Did
Well,
anyone
I'm
see
saying-
Rob Ford's tweet about daylight savings? I didn't get it. I didn't see why everyone was calling him an idiot.
What did he say?
He said something about like setting your clocks ahead and changing your batteries and your smoke alarm, which I thought was funny. But apparently, he made a mistake saying like, "Oh, you got to change it back," and I had no idea. It's like, "Oh, okay." Well, Rob Ford's just giving everyone advice to like letting everyone know that it's daylight savings time, and then everyone jumped all over him. I was like, I don't even know why he's an idiot. It completely.
Do you think that guy? I don't know. I know this is not a topic. Do you think that guy will win?
Yes.
You think the next election?
I don't know who the other guy is. I haven't heard about any other guys.
But anybody
Sounds
would
Eloise.
be.
Women can run too, Mace.
or
they,
maybe I don't discriminate
Yeah,
because
'cause
of
apparently
guys.
it might be,
Maybe I call some women.
I think
guys.
there is a woman running.
Yeah, it's
There's
what's her name?
and there's a bunch of people.
Olivia
running.
Chow might run.
Olivia- yeah.
Apparently she's going to run.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can all accept that she's not going to win.
She's a woman and she's Chinese. Come on now.
Yeah, but she. Yeah,
Wait, so it doesn't matter who's running. Do you think he'll just win again? Because
I think so.
How's,
They're making him a celebrity now.
Yeah, he was on Jimmy Kimmel. I mean that.
everyone's
but I heard
bailing.
I heard he looked like a moron.
Everyone's bailing on him now.
Yeah.
Now,
Kimmel,
Well, no, I mean, like, right, his supporters are the people that support her are starting to bail on him.
It was like he did do crack, but he was really fucking embarrassing on Jimmy Kimmel. So
Yeah, take that.
I am
but
not behind this
I
guy
also
anymore.
felt like Kimmel was kind of an ass.
That's Kimmel's job to
I
be
know.
an ass.
what I mean was he being
He-
more of a dick?
He made like jokes about him jumping. He's like, "Oh, how high can you really jump?" Because he made a reference like, "Oh, when Toronto asked me to jump, I say how high," and he's like, "Come on, how high can you really jump?"
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
but then he started dabbing sweat off his forehead.
He
that
needed
was
it.
great.
He was sweating profusely.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, but that's what I mean. The thing about Jimmy Kimmel, there was no point where he was like, "Okay, I'm going to ease off a little bit." This guy was nice enough to come on my show.
Yeah,
no,
he-
he's like, "I'm going to be a dick all the way through."
he was
right?
relentless.
Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel.
That's why
is
Jimmy Kimmel's good, though.
yeah, but he's just kind of a dick a bit. I think he's
Yeah.
just that guy.
Yeah, but are we
So-
supposed to take Rob Ford seriously? Like, if your mayor is going on Jimmy Kimmel because he's an idiot, is he supposed to take him serious? Like, he's not supposed to show up.
No,
No,
He
he's
shouldn't have
not
been
supposed
there.
to.
Right, he's not supposed to be there. He's
The
not
biggest
supposed
fuck
to go
up of the
there.
whole situation was him going.
Right, so how is Jimmy Kimmel supposed to respect someone that showed up?
And that was
for
Kimmel's first question, too.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah, he's not supposed to
Right?
be there.
I always wonder how does that work? Did they like backstage go, okay, I'm gonna take you on, I'm gonna be a dick to you, but it's all fun and games, just pat you on the back.
Do you
and
think
you're okay.
there's that conversation?
I don't know because it seems weird that like there's
they
a
rushed
picture
him
of him in the limo with Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel and him are smiling. I'm just like, how do you get from there to there and not have a conversation or something? Or does
Well,
he just?
he should have some people. I'm guessing he does. There's maybe not. He should have someone to talk for him and saying, "Listen, what exactly are you going to do, or what are you going to
He's
ask?"
got his brother. They all care about his fame.
Yeah,
That's all they care about.
but so no one had that conversation.
No, clearly. If they had the conversation, he wouldn't have left Toronto.
No, I think if he had the conversation, he still would have went.
No, I think if he
I
had the
think
right
he's-
handlers, they would have said, "You're the mayor of Toronto. You can't do shit
He-
like this."
I know,
he
but I'm
was
saying
not
his
a
brother
face.
is going to go. Oh, you're going to be a dick to him? That's fine. We can handle it.
I don't think anyone told him going to be a dick. I think it was just like, "Oh, rush, get through the stuff," and like, I don't think he cares.
The fuck did he think was going to happen? That was
Yeah.
another question. He had to
Yeah.
have known going on to Jimmy Kimmel
No, he
that
thought he
Jimmy
was going to
Kimmel
be
was going
funny.
to be
He
a
thought he was
dick.
going to fun.
No, but like, what are you there for?
he was there to promote
Fame.
Toronto
No, but what is he there for? Like, really, why is he on Jimmy Kimmel?
Because
he was
he's a
at the
fucking
Oscars.
Because
baboon.
he smoked crack and he was a fuck up. That's why you're there.
Yeah.
And if you're too stupid to realize that that's why you're there, then you don't deserve to be mayor.
The mayor of
He's there for-
Maryland he got caught smoking crack and being in a hotel with a hooker,
Yeah.
and he got arrested.
And he
went
got
to jail,
reelected.
And he got reelected. And no one's making the stink that they're making about Rob Ford, but that's just because he wasn't walking into cameras, tackling.
Yeah, but Rob
bumping
Ford keeps making more and more mistakes. Like when he got busted, he said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna stop drinking." Blah blah blah. How many times he's gotten in trouble since then in a bar?
Drunk.
Right. He's like, he's in a bar. Whether he's drunk or not, he's in a bar. Right.
Yeah, and we'll never
doesn't-
trust an addict.
Exactly. You're not supposed to. Well, if you're the mayor of the city and you got busted with crack, and you said, "Oh, the reason I did crack is because I was drunk," you don't go into bars anymore.
Yeah.
You don't get busted in a bar. You don't even walk near one.
That's the thing I don't get. I don't get like after he even said like I'm gonna completely swear off drinking. It's obviously a problem for me. And then he's like, oh, I had a little bit to drink. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you
what I'm
just-
saying. You can't. You're the mayor. You can't do that. You just can't do that. And so then he knows what he's going
But
to do. to Kimmel.
he's drunk on fame, man. He likes it. He's addicted to it.
And there's kind of a contradiction where he's supposed to be like the simple man, but he's playing the celebrity and not really. he's voted as that,
every man.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
he's for the poor and all that stuff.
And now, but he's playing more of like a celebrity role than he is
Yeah.
an actual mayor. And it's just So it's really silly.
Yeah, but he loves it. He really is a simple human being.
Yeah,
He's drunk
really
on fame,
dumb.
and he's just a dude that likes crack. That's all I
It's a
see.
dude that loves. I think he loves fame more than crack. A little bit more than crack.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I am, as you all know, I enjoy drinking, but I've never been so drunk that I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll try this crack, and been like, yeah, I didn't even remember doing that. No, I was experimenting. I was so drunk that it just happened.
And you know what the big thing is? You're not mayor.
Yeah,
That's the thing. That's
And you're
the
not
major-
there.
Yeah, like
yeah.
if you were mayor, I actually know for a fact at least 3 incriminating videos that you've done that could go viral in a
absolutely.
second.
There's one still on my YouTube channel.
If you
and
get-
I haven't bothered to take it down.
If
love
you
it.
got drunk and did crack, it's like that's your business. You're fucking up your life, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're the mayor, you're like you represent an entire fucking city.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
It's like a movie Idiocracy. He's like totally playing the role of the president of the
Yeah.
United States in that movie. Like,
I want to see that movie.
that's a great movie.
It's a bit racist.
Super racist.
Is the one where? No, which one is that? The one where like the world?
I like it, but yeah,
What happens in the movie?
everyone gets dumber and dumber. Dumb
No,
people
but-
keep having kids. Smart people stop having kids.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I want to see.
We live that movie every day in Hamilton.
I know.
Yeah,
Dumb people keep having kids, and smart people are like, I can't afford it. So
I'm not going to
stop.
do it.
yeah.
I'm not gonna ruin my life and a poor kid's life.
Is you were talking about a dude whose bowels turn shit into alcohol or
Not his
something?
bowels,
He's a
his
magic goose.
digestive. Well,
His asshole.
It's not his asshole. It's his stomach.
He makes it.
Got pints.
Okay, so what happens to him?
He
Glass
has
included.
a thing. It's a very, very rare disorder called autobrewery disorder. So everything he ingests starts fermenting in his stomach, and he's constantly drunk.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
Everything he ingests.
Hang on a second.
Yes,
Hang on a
this is
second.
true.
You know what I love
Read this on
about
the
you know what I love
Onion.
about
I didn't read that on the Onion. You misinterpreted and you just tried to smear my name.
There's been a few times when Izzy has brought the Onion stories to the podcast, claiming
That
that,
never
they're
happened.
real.
Hang on a
and-
second. Before we go any further, Manolis heard this subject before we even went on air, and you were still shocked again. I don't know if you're an
I thought
amazing
he-
actor or you just don't listen to Izzy.
I
doesn't.
thought you were talking about some machine he made.
No. It's
was the best
it's his digestive system. So
His digestive is doing what?
A beer machine,
Everything, like-
which would be a brewery. Like if he built a machine, it wasn't like this is an amazing story. A guy built a machine that makes beer.
it's
That's
called
what I
a
thought we were
distillery.
talking about. So I'm like, cool. Can I get one?
Wow.
You can.
Yeah.
They exist.
No, but I thought it was like some sort of special, like a blender. Like it's like a compact. Like put anything you want in this thing, and it'll
Sold
make
by-
it into alcohol.
and then he swallowed that blender. And then,
I didn't know it
But
was
you get it
inside of
installed.
him.
You don't swallow it.
I didn't know it was inside of him. So wait. So what happens? He eats anything he eats or drinks.
Anything and everything he ingests ferments in his stomach due to some bacterial thing that he has going on in his intestines. I'm not a doctor, so I'm going to sound like an idiot.
Did you hear this
Wait,
on
you're
the
not a
Onion?
doctor?
No, I did not hear this on the Onion. It was on Vice.
you're not a doctor.
Wouldn't that
I'm
become
not a
your
doctor.
new normal though? Like, wouldn't
Holy
that become
shit.
your new
I would assume
like
he was a
tolerance
doctor.
level? You know what I mean?
Sort of. From what I read in the article, he would just wake. He was always like. They thought he had a mental disability because as a young child, he couldn't speak properly, and then
He was drunk.
Kept
my
slurring
God.
his words and pinching his teacher's ass.
his whole life. Since,
He's
since he was born.
retarded.
I think
he was
he's just
born.
How
retarded.
did he even like properly? How does his brain even properly develop?
Does he have a
It seems
driver's
like being
license?
drunk all the time.
That actually, they didn't mention in the article. That's a good. I personally, I would love to know
He keeps
that.
giving ladies motorboats. He's retarded. He's
Be
retarded.
prejudiced against his disability if they didn't give him
But yeah, no, he's had a complete like a hangover
So-
his entire life.
so-
Every morning he wakes up with a hangover.
So wait. So he drinks he drinks a glass of water.
Turns into alcohol.
In,
How?
I don't know it. I told you I'm not a doctor.
in him.
I play the bass, not the microscope.
So in him, it turns into
That's a
alcohol.
t-shirt.
And then
That's
from that glass of water, he starts to get drunk.
Yeah, it ferments.
It ferments.
I don't know if water will do
water.
it because there's nothing. Like
And
I
whatever
said,
he eats, basically, whatever he
Yes.
ingests.
Cabbage.
cabbage will do it. Bread will do it.
I don't think water would do it.
Again, I'm not. I don't.
So
blame
how
I don't see
old
what's in
was
water
he?
that could do it.
Yeah, I would think
when
you would
they
dilute
fi-
it. if
Yeah.
anything.
When they figured it out that he had this autobrewery disorder was when he was in his 20s. So he went 20 years getting drunk. And
What happens if he drinks alcohol?
I'm sure he just
Turns
gets
into water.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
What-
He's just drunk constantly. It sounds terrible.
So he doesn't have
Yeah.
medication or anything you can take for it?
They didn't mention that in the
Why
article
would
as
you
well.
want it?
Yeah,
I don't need it.
Just to be sober once in a while.
Fuck
Are you
that.
fucking
It'd be interesting, like for women to you meet them at the bar and be like, I guess we can just go now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he
go.
doesn't. Ugh. He probably gets so much poontang. Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. I'm drunk all the time.
Everybody's
That's-
that guy's just an asshole.
Probably gets so much poontang.
Doug says whatever he wants all the time.
Oh, he's retarded. He's mentally retarded. Just let him do whatever he wants.
So, how can we duplicate this
I'm surprised you're not saying for females.
for females?
yeah.
I have some
Women that are
wood.
constantly drunk.
What happens if you put alcohol in a woman's vagina? Do they get drunk that
Nothing
way?
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would get drunk.
Yeah, absolutely. They get
Like
drunk.
if you use the
haven't
funnel.
you- Dan's
have to
been doing
refer
that
to
joke
Dan
for like
Peters,
20 years, and you still.
I know enough about him to know that that's funny.
Yeah, Steve-O used to funnel a beer in his ass, and like you'd get drunk from that.
Yeah,
Makes
'Cause it goes
sense.
directly
Is that a black tie affair thing that you do that at?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's totally black tie affair.
Is that? Oh, I thought
It's
you
a
said, is
funnel,
that a black guy thing?
No, a black
You're
tie
saying
affair.
Got it.
Is it a black guy thing?
No, I don't think it was, but you would.
No, they
know.
did that with Purple Drink.
There you go. Drake.
That's Purple Drink.
Drink.
Yeah,
That's racist.
that was a little racist.
It was Jordan.
Sorry, they use grape soda.
There you go. Because everyone uses grape soda, so it's different.
There's nothing wrong with grape soda. Everybody enjoys it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, never said
some more
never
than
said
others.
nobody
That's
didn't.
what he
enjoy
didn't say.
grape soda.
That's why you're saying it wasn't racist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I watched 12 Years a Slave yesterday.
How was it?
It was
that's a
Got
bit
to-
racist.
Did you only
Awkward?
get
Did
to
you say
11?
awkward?
Yeah, I
What'd you
just
say?
imagine being on set for that.
You got only till 11 and he stopped.
He's like, okay, 11 years is enough for me.
I didn't, like Brad Pitt. I didn't even know he was in it. He had that one tiny scene in it too.
He was great.
He was great. He was great in it. But I just feel like that set must have been.
He was
fucking
okay.
Painfully awkward.
Whatever, he's awesome.
He's okay.
Like you mean?
I have a man crush on him.
He played a nice white guy.
So
Brad
what?
Pitt.
He's
That's
still,
what he does. Hey,
He's
I'm
a
the
great.
nice
He was,
white
he
guy.
was a good actor. He's a great actor. Yeah,
He's a competent actor.
he's better than
How
you,
many Oscars
dude.
has he won?
No, I'm better than him. He plays himself. He goes out and plays pretty guy.
He's
like-
a pretty guy.
Yeah.
What about Benjamin Button?
Yeah,
He
what
was
was that?
great.
He played the same guy. He's either like dead in the
Did
face.
you see him in
or he's-
California? What was it, Californication?
I don't know.
I haven't seen that.
He was an actor.
He was
I remember him in Cool World. Do you remember Cool World?
No,
Yeah,
wait.
exactly. Go watch
California.
Cool World.
Sorry, I think it was called California but spelled with a K.
Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah, Californication's that
TV show.
TV show.
California.
So do you think it was awkward, like watching the scene set up?
No,
or like,
Just imagine being a slave.
Just the end.
How
Yeah,
awkward that would be.
Yeah.
Come on, Doug. I'm saying like for being on set.
like people dropping the N word.
Oh, constantly. Like Paul Giamatti, he was a dick in that movie. Like, you think he's just walking around afterwards, like apologizing to everyone, like, "Sorry, guys." Like, that was the script.
Yeah,
It was more awkward when they caught him saying it in
But you
his
think
dressing
he
room.
took the role because finally I can say the N word as
No,
many times
no,
as I want.
Or
I
like
think-
when he's rehearsing it in his like garage, people can just hear him screaming the N word.
Yeah. It was a great movie.
I have not witnessed the movie yet. I want to watch it.
Witness
It's
it.
based
You
on a
haven't
true
witnessed.
story. It is.
What is it about? Is it just about slaves?
It's about this guy that was free. He was a free man.
just that.
He had his papers, and then someone
Usually doesn't keep people
kidnapped him
interested
and
enough
sold
to
him.
throw in other things as well.
Wait, I missed the story.
About slaves. Is
Well,
it
I don't
just
know.
about slaves?
No,
it's
not at
behind
all.
the music of slavery.
Oh,
Is
was
it
12
just
years
a-
a slave? About. I'm the dumb one in this group, all right?
But I mean,
My favorite scene is when he.
like, is it just a kind of general slave story?
No, it's Drew Barrymore's autobiography.
Yes.
Nice.
This is what I liked about this movie is that they get in depth with characters.
Okay,
So that's what I liked about it.
but it is just
It's slavery.
It's a very tragic mistake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this guy got. Well, it wasn't a mistake. Somebody kidnapped him and sold him.
But he just, it's not, yeah, it's obviously not a mistake. He got duped, but it's like,
It's a mistake on his end, I would say. Yeah.
yeah, but like, I wouldn't have thought
'Cause he
anything
got-
different if I was in his situation. Like, it's like, oh, you guys want me to, I'm a great
Just imagine.
violinist.
Oh, I can do a gig. Yeah, fuck yeah. I'll do a gig, and then you go out and you get captured to slavery.
12 years of slavery.
You're like, what the fuck? I was gonna
I could see it
Why
happening
did I drive
to me.
out to Richmond Hill anyway?
Exactly. I was gonna play the Cluck and the Feather. It's a Cluck and Feather for $150.
I would be the only white slave. I guarantee you. If I was still Manolis, like in
Back
that
then?
time, in that day,
Here's
I'd
the-
be the only guy that would like somehow become a slave. But I'd be like the only white. Like, why are you here? I don't know.
But there
I
was
don't know why I'm here.
there were white
can't
slaves
do it
in
on
that
their
movie.
own.
Yeah, there were.
But they got treated better. But there were white slaves.
Yeah, I'd be one of those guys.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, criminals and stuff like that.
Huh.
Yep. Free
And then-
labor, dude.
And then there were black people that owned black slaves too. But towards the end, I forget what her name was.
Oh, she was married to the. Yeah,
What?
Beyonce was married to
Beyonce
to that guy before Jay-Z.
and Tone Loc.
She was married to that guy. They were elevated in the plantation, and that's why the other girl was trying to be elevated,
Okay.
but she's getting Then somebody else came in.
But there was that one character, like the wife kind of knew something was up. She was like taking it out on her,
yeah,
as typical people would do. It's like don't get this woman's not getting mad at her husband for cheating.
yeah.
It's not cheating on a black woman with a black woman. It's the fact
But
he's cheating.
But he liked it young, so she couldn't compete. It was even worse. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like, oh my god, it was even slapped in her face. Where it's like, because he started going after that even younger girl. Remember when they got that new slave? And she started going
Oh,
after
okay,
that kid?
kind of remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she whips that fucking crystal.
Light.
No, that fucking thing of scotch. Just wails it at her face.
I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, but I got that.
Crystal light.
That's really good. I really enjoyed
But
that.
in that time, I would be like, all right. If I was her, I'd be like, all right, my husband wants to bang this chick.
I think in slavery, it's pretty easy going for you during those times. You would love to be a slave because
Manolis
they
is-
use you to, stud.
Oh,
You'd be a stud.
I wouldn't mind being the stud. Yeah,
Instead of
that's
calling
a
his
fact. You know they did that.
what?
Yeah.
They used to. There was this. They would take the strongest black man,
Oh, and breed with
and
him.
he make him breed all the women.
Well, it's technically
So
what
there's
it
one
is.
guy that was like, no, I think the slavery's not so bad.
Like
Yeah,
a
Manolis
panda.
is just calling his quote unquote massa dude all the time. He's like, dude.
There's one guy.
It's
One slavery was
massa.
Massa.
There's
You
one.
can say master. You can say master.
Well,
You don't live in the South.
I just like
This
saying
isn't
that
a
word.
minstrel show, is he?
He's calling us one master.
When slavery was over, there was that one guy was like, "What do you mean it's over?"
I can go
Because he's
now?
getting laid the whole
Yeah.
day. That's what it's me. What are you talking about? It's over. Who do I talk to?
Yeah.
But
Manolis is like, but I was running so much train on all this poontang.
I don't even think it's like. I don't think it's enjoyable for you. Like I think it's like, oh, you got to get laid.
are you even
And
listening?
the woman is probably like crying and upset.
Yeah, they're all
it's not
slaves.
good
It's all
for
good
her.
for him. It's all good for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
well,
some normal
it's not-
sex.
The guy's not raping.
he's
being
being
kinda
forced.
has-
The
he's
guy's
not
being
raping,
no.
he's
The
being
guy's being
ordered
raped
to-
too.
What?
The
The guy's being raped too.
Okay,
Everyone's
but
being
if you're
raped in Massachusetts.
Manolis, you're enjoying it, so it's not really.
Yeah, but rape doesn't mean if you're enjoying it.
Well,
It's not.
Rape being forced against your will, right? So even
Yeah, but
he's
it's not
being
like,
raped.
hey, listen, Sally.
Sally
you know,
the slave.
Sally, yeah.
Commons.
You know-
actually, probably was a common slave.
You
name.
know, I know you don't want to have sex with me, but I've been told to impregnate
gotta do
you.
it.
So what do you want me to do?
They're standing over you with whips and shit. They're not
Yeah,
like,
so-
oh, I was told to meet you by the tree.
There's no dinner.
No, there's not. There's none of that. Hey, I want you
There's
to
not driving?
pick up that slave woman and dine her and dine her and finesse her, sweep off her feet. We need some good. No, it was like there was a dude standing over
Fuck
you.
her, fuck her, now
yeah,
fuck her.
yeah, and
Now,
you
see, I
two
got
get
this
together.
switch here. But if you work the clit a little bit, it won't be all that bad.
Kiss her on the neck. What are you, an animal? Kiss her on the neck.
And that's how S&M started.
Tell her she's beautiful.
It's on the lips.
You're just gonna go and dry like that. You gotta warm her up first.
Well, that's how cuckolding started, I think. Right? Like,
Really?
Yeah, you know cuckolding, right?
Yeah. What
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like,
well, think about it.
wait.
The white dude and the black guy's fucking his wife, and
Does cuckolding have to be a black guy?
I only
That was
seen,
my question.
I've only seen it with
Thank
black
you.
guys, but I don't
No, it
think
doesn't.
so.
It doesn't.
No.
Izzy jumped right in there.
I watch porn.
He's done some research.
I've
He's
done
like,
some.
no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Not in real
that
life,
always
anyways.
It always comes back to race with you, Gavin.
No, but I know that's all I've ever seen. I haven't seen it any other.
Maybe that's
Black.
Gotta be big black cock, not just black cock.
I've only seen that.
okay. Well, that's probably what you're searching.
No, I'm not searching for cuckolding.
Big black cuckolding.
I used to have to do reviews. I was doing reviews of like porn, and my friend works at a
Really?
porn, and it was like I was so bad because I was like, I'd get a lot of those race ones, and it was basically saying how racist everything was in it, like because everything was everything was stereotypical, everything, and they couldn't use my reviews because it was just like you're just ruining it for people.
Yeah, he's like,
It's
this
like
guy
if
wants to
Malcolm
jerk
X
off.
was trying to watch porn.
Yeah, it's like why you ruin this? Like you're taking because the black guys were all like find these white girls, and it was like this is terrible.
Yeah.
But you never see a black guy in porn upset when a white girl goes, I love your big black cock.
Hey, why would you be
Or-
upset about that?
I know, but this is the only time where black people aren't sensitive about race.
Well, yeah.
If the white girl says, I love your end cock, he doesn't go, hey,
Yeah,
hey, hey.
They don't even say cock. You don't even have to put the cock in there. They say yeah. You've seen those videos.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Don't be ashamed.
Why
of it.
are we lowering our voices?
I don't know. They don't even say
I
cock.
did design a few porn websites, and it was funny because like when you design websites after a while, you just like you get into a certain design that you like, or a design style, I guess you could say, that you like to do, and for that site, it had ass to mouth. It had to be in the header, and I remember like aligning ass to mouth and going, "Yeah, that's exactly where it should go." And just I don't know, just
So did you
reflecting back, and I'm like, "What am I doing here?" Like,
Program
like,
the
why am I
cursor to
ha-
be a goose spot?
yeah,
Just a little spooge.
yeah, exactly. It's just like these decisions that really don't mean anything, but because I'm in design mode, I'm like, oh, it should be here. Like,
So you got to watch the porn for free on this site, or
yeah, I had to cut up a lot of porn, so
you edited porn as well?
Well, I had to cut it up. It's this this thing where you had to like divide it up, and this is going back some years. So this is like I'd say 99, 2000. So the internet sucked, and you had to have like porn clips. So you take like
Oh,
a
the
porn
teasers?
movie, yeah, and you divide them up into like 20 clips or something like that.
So
and they
how-
would right click and download each one.
How much porn were you watching at the time? Like tons?
Not tons. When I had to update the site, I only had to update the site once a week, and
okay.
other people updated it as well. So
Heaven forbid.
yeah,
I used to do porn subtitling. That's terrible.
It's just
Well, you don't do the O stuff, but you get like as much as you can for deaf people.
I fucking heard
you
that
kidding?
they are actually the Canadian government is working so that they do have to put closed captioning on the O's and stuff like that because it's
Fuck
not.
off, really?
Because it's
Yeah,
like
I read
line
it
by
on-
line.
I don't know if it's true. I
You
read
have
it on
a
the news.
sheet, and it's just line by line. You're just like, fuck my asshole. And you gotta type it out, and you're like, these dirty fucking deaf people.
Oh, imagine being bilingual and have to do it in French too. You're just like, oh, jeez.
Yes, we.
What do you call it when there has to be so much Canadian content in music?
CanCon?
Yeah, Canadian
Yeah.
content.
I heard that as a subject matter on talk radio about like apparently someone's trying to do that with porn.
The Canadian government, the CRTC is because they have standards where they have to have any Canadian broadcaster has, I think it's like 30 to 35% Canadian content, and porn industries weren't meeting that quota, so they need more people to record porn in Canada. And put it out. And Manolis just gets a huge smile on his face.
Is that hilarious?
So
That's awesome.
they're gonna have to do Canadian porn.
What does that
They're
mean?
gonna
So,
have to get that slave driver back with a whip.
but for what? Like, do we have a Canadian porn site? What do you mean?
There's-
Like,
yeah,
There's
there's
Canadian
tons.
porn, and Montreal's probably got tons.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
Probably.
a few in Toronto I know of.
Yeah.
A friend of mine
Halifax.
tried to start one.
My friend was doing it in Montreal and stuff. He's telling me stories about the anal scenes and how gross they were.
I mean, Peter North is Canadian, right?
Yeah, because his name.
He's like, apparently one time,
He's Canadian.
apparently they pulled out and then like just shit flew out of the girl.
What happened?
She has an anal scene and the guy pulled out and then shit just flew out of her.
How does that
Who-
happen?
Because
Jackpot.
I don't know.
That's where the poo is.
Suction.
But why does it? Why does it fly out
I guess it gets suctioned out.
like a?
And she
plunger,
should have
like
gotten an what's it, colonic? She should have been like cleaned
Yeah,
out.
They're
usually
usually
do
supposed
enemas.
to.
Yeah.
They always do. The girls always the pros. Anyways, they get a colonic.
And they bleach their assholes.
Yeah, well, I was watching this one video, and this girl is like, "Oh, so what scenery are you doing today?" She's like, "Well, I hope we do anal because I haven't eaten in 12 hours, and I did an enema this morning. So I hope I didn't do that for nothing." And I fucking started losing my shit laughing. I was like, "That's hilarious." She had to prep 12 hours in advance to get fucked in the ass.
Enema. What's that again? That's when they.
The thing they stick up your ass and splash water in
Yeah.
your water and vinegar.
And what's a colonic?
A colonic's when they pull out all the shit out of your colon. And stuff.
Okay, so enema is like a smaller version of that.
Yeah, it's just for the anal cavity.
I guess you can do both. I know people that do colonics all the time. I want to do a colonic. You've done a colonic.
I did a colonic. I
There's,
was okay.
there was a Groupon for one. Actually, my brother emailed it to me. Yeah, for you and two friends can go for it.
You
They
hold
use
hands.
the same.
Yeah.
They hook you all up in the same tube.
Yeah, it's like a milking station at a farm.
Did it have any effect? Did you feel anything different?
You feel a little bit better afterwards. I think for me, I know it doesn't seem that way, but I'm probably healthier than you'd think I am. Like I do a lot of cardio and I run, and I think I'm pretty regular.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you're really unhealthy, I think it would work, and you'd feel better. I don't think I'm that. I don't think I'm unhealthy enough. But the fucking when they put in your asshole, the fucking
Tube?
the tube, but the tube's hooked up to this like
It's a
steel
water
thing.
pump, right?
What's it? It's there's a water bottle that's like on the wall, and she opens it up, and it just comes down the tube, and then it goes in, and you can feel it. You feel like you got to take a shit. That's what it feels like. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, I got to take a shit. That's how all the water inside of you, and then she turns that off, and then she opens the second valve that the two tubes are hooked up to, and then it all comes out that one.
And you're like, oh, I don't have to take a shit anymore.
Yeah. But it's like the thing that they put in your asshole. It's like it's
Solution?
It's bigger than when I got my prostate checked. It's way bigger than that. It's like a fucking piston. It looked like it's just like thump. I felt like it was like when it goes in your asshole, it's like goes small and it goes big and then goes back small. So when it goes in, it has to be tight. So no water's coming out the sides.
That was like the first time you were airtight?
Yeah, I wasn't enjoyable. It was like a thump. Like I felt it when like she puts like all this lubricant on it.
Oh,
So
okay.
when it was like I literally felt like there was she was pushing it through my bum hole, and all of a sudden I felt thump, and it was like, oh, it's in. I'm like, yeah, it's in.
Hello!
And you're on your back and your legs are up. It's like you're having a baby. It's fucking horrible. Yeah,
I'm sure it's not like having a baby, though.
I think it's probably worse.
Oh, who was that coffee for?
No,
I know
some
this is
vaginas rip.
Yeah, I think that's your coffee.
No, you got me a coffee, didn't you?
Yeah, the one for.
I didn't know. I didn't know there was a coffee.
Yeah, the one that's right in front of you. You didn't know that was a coffee?
No, I didn't know it was for me. Thank you.
Just because you're black, you think it's for everybody else?
Well, you said four
That doesn't
sweeteners.
even make any sense at all. How does that make sense? You can't just use you think you're black or you're black.
You think
Because
you're black.
you're like thinking like,
I
oh,
think he's pretty black too. but-
we're talking about 12 Years a Slave, and you got your mind into that set.
Like, you're the
Well,
worst psychiatrist.
Maybe I
ever.
don't deserve this coffee.
Maybe I don't because of 12 years. 12 years, I don't deserve that coffee. I didn't
Hey
know.
man,
You are black, Kevin.
I know. So I don't deserve
you
it.
gotta let it go, dude.
You deserve it.
Let go of 12 years a slave?
Just
Yeah,
the
it's
whole
not your
thinking,
fault.
Like, it's just you're just a dude. Don't worry about that. You're black.
You're
You
right.
Don't care.
You're right.
Not your fault, man.
It's what is this like?
Goodwill
How about, yeah, I was gonna say.
Interventions.
Not your fault, man.
All right, whatever. Stop it.
It's not your
Stop
fault,
it.
man.
No, stop
It's
it.
not your fault,
Stop
man.
it.
It's
Don't
not
do
your
this to
fault.
me.
It's not
Don't
your
do
fault,
this to
man.
me.
It's not your fault, man.
Is that a scene in it?
Yeah.
At the end.
I gotta see it.
God damn
Robin
it! I have the
Williams.
script.
Matt Damon. Good movie.
Yeah, it is good. It's a great movie. How about these apples?
I like Robin Williams as an actor.
Like as a serious actor, you mean?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie at all.
Did anyone see that movie that he did?
You haven't seen anything, dude. You're
No.
C-3PO.
I know. I just haven't seen movies.
You just been born.
I don't know if he. Yeah, I guess he wouldn't see movies. That's a fair point.
I think he won in that Oscar for that movie. Or he's
I've heard
nominated.
all about it. I've seen the last scene where like they stand up on the desks or something, right?
No, you're thinking
Patch
of Dead
Adams?
Poet Society.
No, I think you're like
I don't know.
That's Dead Poet
Breakfast
Society.
Club.
No, that's
Breakfast
Dead
Club.
Poet Society. When they stand up on the desk and protest because they get rid of him because he's a Dead Poet Society.
I don't know. I haven't seen that either. I've just seen that scene.
That's
Do you,
Dead
can
Poet.
you
That's
see
the
us
wrong
right
movie.
now?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe he can't see. Maybe he's just
I'm
blind.
blind. No, I'm drunk. My bowels are all alcohol.
Or
He's drunk, so he
retarded.
doesn't remember any movies he's seen before.
Or retarded. What else do we have on the...
There was a girl who poked holes. A guy poked holes in a condom.
Yes.
Fucked a girl. His semen leaked through the holes. in the condom.
Back up
Yep.
to the... I forgot. How
All right,
does it
let me-
work?
Okay.
Why
so-
did he do it?
All right.
You know what I love?
When a
is
guy
how
and a
he
girl
gets- he
love
gets
each
so
other.
descriptive. A guy poked holes in a condom, impregnated a girl.
His girlfriend.
But I like how you're telling me. Like, we
Yeah.
could go, a guy poked holes in a condom and impregnated a girl. And
Yeah.
then, but you were telling us step by step
'Kay.
what happens.
They
He pokes
started
hole-
out with a hand job.
a hand job.
He fingered her for 10 to 15.
Did he do
Yes.
a good job?
He could have been better.
It was
And,
more like a hand, kind of not so good.
Like he was down there, but
Yeah.
not really doing
It's
it.
like
Not
a
really
handshake
down
with the vagina. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is a little too much.
It was like a hand intern.
Which we've all been there.
Yes.
And then he poked holes in said condom.
Yes.
And,
And then,
his
Why
semen
did you
leaked
spin
through
Did you say
said holes.
Velvet been there?
did he put the condom on?
Velvet? No, I said we've all.
No.
But Velvet.
He didn't put the condom on?
Yeah, so he wore the condom. He impregnated the girl through
With the semen
Yeah, with the
seeping out
semen.
like a sieve.
Well, what happened was he poked holes in the condom, had sex with the girl. His semen went into her vagina, went up her
The tunnel?
fallopian tubes.
The tunnels.
Yeah, into her uterus.
and one made it.
And one fought the good fight. God bless him.
God bless.
And made it. And a little baby started to form in her
well, technically
uterus.
it's a zygote first before it's a baby.
And it does split cells. It does.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't
Come on,
want to
man.
get technical. I know I'm not
You're
a
losing
doctor.
me.
Like
The
I said
news
earlier.
couldn't even cover the story because it was so long in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was just way too long. So they're like, well, anyway, we'll get to the rest of the story tomorrow. With a
All right.
brief recap.
So now, do you need me to recap?
No,
All
I'm
right.
good. I'm
All
with
right.
you.
Just making sure. And
So what's this story about?
so this guy poked holes in a
So a guy impregnates a chick by poking holes in a condom.
he
It was
impregnates
his
her
last
poking holes in the
attempt to
condom.
try to save the relationship.
Yeah.
Poking holes in a condom?
Hey, that
was
does
an
work
attempt?
sometimes.
Like, you know how women will get pregnant because to keep the guy?
Yeah, but okay. Sorry, continue. With
That's
this.
what he was trying to do.
Jesus, that's the worst idea. Oh,
She-
she's gonna break up with me. You know what I do? Pregnate her.
I agree with you, but
Ruined his
it's not
life.
like it's never happened the other way around.
But he's a psycho.
Of course. So what are you saying about women that do it?
They're psycho.
Yeah. So it's there's.
But how does a man get tricked into it if a woman pokes a condom? It's the same thing. Anyone that pokes a condom.
No, but what a woman will just like if she thinks the guy's gonna she'll just stop taking the pill,
Okay, yeah, that's a
right?
psycho.
Same cycle.
All right,
All right. So are you going?
you're leaving now.
Yeah, I don't know what Jordan's doing, but I gotta go.
Oh, you actually leaving?
Yeah, I thought it was at 3, so I have to go at 3:30.
Yeah,
That's
you-
not why. Anyways, yeah.
You have a girlfriend. Get out of here. Okay.
He's going to go to his
Sure.
girlfriend's poke holes in the condom and keep her
Got
forever.
the idea.
Sure, it's your family, Mace.
Nice seeing you guys.
Take it easy. Cool.
Bye, miss.
Mace is awkwardly trying to leave. Are you going to that show tonight? No. Okay. Oh, so anyways,
It's psycho either way.
either way, it's psycho.
Yeah.
But so she went to the cops because she had proof because he was stupidly enough to say yeah, I did that on purpose through text.
Yeah.
So
What a moron.
yeah, so she charges him and he gets charged with what is it called? You get 18 months.
Is it statutory? Was it rape? Was it statutory?
No,
rape?
it's a sexual offender.
Oh, okay. So it's sexual assault.
Ooh.
Sexual. He got
Yeah, it
charged.
is assault.
He's an official. You know when they say you're on that list.
Sex offender.
Sex
On the
offender.
list, yeah.
He's a sex offender.
Yeah.
He offended sex.
He offended sex.
Why I never.
There we go.
So, and I guess what's the art? I don't know if there is an argument. What's the discussion? I mean, could you say the difference is a woman? The difference is a woman has to go physically through changes, and she got an abortion and she had some complications.
Yeah.
So now she's a murderer too.
Yes.
Well, so okay.
No, but that's the difference, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because a woman has to go. The difference is like when a woman's trapping a guy, if you could try to say, the woman's also saying, "I'm willing to fucking make a baby."
Yeah. Okay, but I'm with you. I'm just the idea of trapping. We're not going. It has to be like condom or not take pill kind of deal.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
can't be like I'm gonna trap a dude with a baby, but they agreed on it, and then he's like, "Fuck, I didn't know."
Right.
That's like
We all know at least one person in our lives. I think that I could tell you about several people like that. Their girlfriends purposely got pregnant because the relationship was almost over, and they thought, "Oh, if I get pregnant,
yeah,
he
but
won't
the
leave."
guy knew about it too, right?
No, the guy after, I know a couple guys where the girl purposely got pregnant,
Yeah.
thinking the guy was going to take off.
Okay.
The relationship was pretty well over. It's like there was that one last attempt.
Yeah, like what would have happened if she didn't find out? You know what I mean? Like, could have got her pregnant and then.
Well, then she probably
That
would have
would've
just had
worked.
it. She
Yeah.
probably just would have had an abortion
May
and,
have worked.
and
Yeah.
just went on with her life and
Yeah.
not charged him.
Yeah, because then that's just a mistake of like
The
the
mistake was-
manufacturer.
Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
mistake is that he
He got felt guilty.
that he told her.
But he's not a sociopath. We know that. He's just an idiot.
Yeah.
Or an asshole.
Yeah.
My last girlfriend, one day I was about to fuck her, and I was looking at the condom. It just something caught my eye, and part of the condom was like the package was like looked like it was broken or something, like a little piece
Your
of
last
plastic.
girlfriend?
My last girlfriend, yeah. Why?
Okay, no, I wasn't
My
sure.
last girlfriend, like about this, is like 3, 4, I guess this is about 3-4 years ago. Okay, so I was like, what the fuck? Because I had a bowl where all my condoms were. So I looked at, I'm like, what the? I looked on the other side, and on the other side is a pinhole.
Fuck.
Yikes.
So then I looked at a bunch of them. I went through them all, and it was like I had like 20 condoms. And like 7 of the 20 condoms, someone pulled fucking holes through them.
Jesus.
Is this the
what
same
the
one?
fuck?
I listened to the podcast. Is this the same one that you were with and she wouldn't not go to a party and then stay with you
Yeah.
or whatever?
Yeah, that's
Also
the same one. Yeah,
the Halloween whore.
Okay.
Halloween
Oh,
whore.
Oh, Halloween. Yeah,
She's not
Halloween
a,
was.
I wouldn't say
huge.
she's a whore, but she's a Halloween.
That was
cunt
from me.
bitch or whatever.
Halloween
but-
whore just had a better ring to it than
Yeah.
Halloween cunt.
Cunt, you're right.
Yeah, every,
Well, she's
like,
more of a cunt than a whore, though, right?
I agree.
In retrospect, she's just stupid.
Okay, but
Yeah. All right. All right. I hate her.
I love it, like every 5 episodes or so, you'll like break down into some emotional, like this is like previous girlfriend.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
he relives it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
He's a
see
great
why, I don't see
storyteller, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see why that's a bad thing.
No, it's
I'm not
good.
saying you're saying that, but I'm
No.
like, I don't know any other
It just
way.
become kind of part of like the podcast, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
it's a regular.
But my dad fucking did this in an attempt to get he thought if I got my girlfriend
Your
pregnant.
dad did
My dad
this?
did this.
Oh
My dad poked the holes.
That's some shit right there.
That's some,
How have you not told these guys before? Like, are you
How
guys
are you
just
not
fighting
make
about
that
this?
into
Yeah,
a
that's
bit?
the first time I've heard.
I don't know.
Your dad poked holes
Holes
in
in
your
the condoms.
condom. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So then
some
you would
tactical shit,
impregnate.
right?
So he wants a grandchild.
Well, he just thinks if I got a baby, then I would stop with this comedy stuff and
And move out of his
Jesus.
move out of his house and fucking.
That's fucking hilarious.
So did you ever confront him?
Of course I did.
But you okay? So you're okay. Let's take you back to the moment you find out that there's holes in the condoms.
I'm like, so I go through them all. So originally, like, because I was in the middle of I was about to fuck, and so I'm like, I realized that there's a so I'm like.
So first of all, your dad knows you're fucking. That's embarrassing right there.
I no.
with a broken
I'm
cock.
joking. I'm joking.
With a broken. So I
The
go.
broken cock story.
A broken cock story. That's another
Oh
story.
yeah, that's right.
So I go. I look through them quickly, and I find another one that I look on both sides, and like, okay, this one's fine, and I use that, and I fuck, and then afterwards, then I go through them all and realize, because it's not like, it's like, it wasn't like something in my head like, this is not a manufacturing situation, because part of on the outside, on the one side of the plastic, my dad didn't know how to do it. Like, he poked the hole. He wanted to make sure with the holes all the way poked through to make sure there was a hole. So in his head, he wanted to see the pin on the other side of the package. So it was like through.
Yeah.
So he knew 100% there was a hole.
Well, what's the correct way to do it?
Yeah, and if it was
He actually
if it was
broke this down
so-
for you. Like,
No,
here's what I needed to do.
Well, this is why the other, like when you poke a hole through a package, the back of the other side,
It's like a gunshot.
the other side,
Yeah.
it doesn't poke through properly. It broke open a little bit.
And you also knew it was manufacturing because if they were poking holes
Well, I went
in the
through
condoms, it would be the exact.
I bought a 30-pack.
Yeah.
So why would 7 of my dad was being sneaky about it too? He didn't do them all. He did he just did to several of them.
That's so fucked up, dude. That's
So like,
super
'cause
fucked.
if you did 20, like if you did, like he didn't realize if you did them to all of them, then I would have just thought, oh, it was the company. Mm-hmm. But I knew he did 7 out of 20 or 7 out of 30 or 10 out of 30 or whatever it was. That I'm like, okay, this is someone did this after the fact.
Jeez.
Then the only person that could have done it was my dad, because I know my dad desperately wants me to fucking
Get out of comedy, but that desperately, like,
just want to get my life together.
yeah. But what if you got like?
Child is not going to get your life.
Yeah,
Well, it's
gonna
not
be
an
the opposite.
accident if I don't know.
But what if? Okay, so best case scenario, you get her pregnant. Worst case scenario, you get AIDS. Like, there's so many colors in that rainbow at that point.
No, but I would have just like the thing is like he doesn't understand like if I got her pregnant that I probably would have got an abortion.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying: is the best case scenario is that you get her pregnant. That's the best case scenario.
Yeah,
If some shit was gonna happen. Worst case scenario, you get AIDS.
but she doesn't
What
have
if you
AIDS.
got AIDS, but you don't know?
Yeah, but if he got AIDS, like there'd be like a 3-month window where he'd look pretty goddamn good.
He'd look,
I'd
yeah,
look
he'd
great.
be pretty
Before
great.
the
He'd
source
look
awesome.
great. And then it's fucking Philadelphia.
I've been always thinking about getting chemo just for the abs.
I don't think you get abs from chemo.
No, you don't. It
You know.
deteriorates your muscles. Too.
But your back hair would be gone.
Yeah.
So
Actually, I don't know if your back hair would be gone.
No,
'Cause my
but-
dad went through chemo and he just lost the hair on his head and he still had.
Well, so
Disgusting
it really
chest
doesn't, it doesn't work out for you. But what I'm saying is, like, your dad didn't even think of that. Like, what if you got herpes?
Whatever, dude.
You can't get rid of that shit.
Yeah. What? Who? Yeah.
well, AIDS might be worse than herpes. But,
You know, but I'm saying
yeah,
AIDS is the worst.
Or
A
chemo.
baby is the best.
yeah.
That's
But
the best. A baby,
I'd rather
you
have
can-
herpes than a baby.
I can get an abortion with a baby. It's
Oh, that's
gone.
true. True.
I can't deal with
Good point.
herpes.
can't
You didn't
abort
think it was the
AIDS.
chick though? That would have been my first thought.
No.
No? Okay.
No. She was a smart girl in a lot of other ways.
Yeah.
She's a party chick.
But I just mean like if I had seen that, my first thought would have been the fucking girl poked holes in the condom. That would have been my go-to.
yeah, but you're a rage machine.
That's true.
Like,
Fair point, sir.
it's not.
My
Take some
dad's-
time to think about
My
this
dad was
rationally.
like, I'm
You
like,
got
you
me.
poke holes in my fucking condoms? He's like, kind of like smiled and like kind of laughed, like a kid, like he got me.
Oh my
I
god.
do enjoy the idea that you like asked him, and not only did he tell you, he broke down the technique in which he executed it. Like, not that he did, but like.
No,
that's
I
funny.
broke that down. He
Yeah.
didn't. He didn't even
No.
want to talk about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, he kind of like you know,
You
like
got
guilt,
me.
guilty. Is, yeah, you got me. I'm like, dude, don't do that. Like that's it. Like I the thing is like, how mad can I really get? Like my dad's 86 now. I'm like, even when it happened, he would have been 83 or 84. I'm not gonna fucking go raging on my dad.
yeah.
Right? Because my dad, like,
It's pointless.
It's pointless. My dad
Yeah.
is so old. Like, I mean, even though my dad's with it with his brain, but like, even now, like, my dad sometimes he fucking loses it about nothing, and like he wants to get into it with me, and I say I don't react, and in any like I'll react, but not in an angry way. I'm like, you would be shocked how calm I am because in my head, I'm like. This guy's not gonna have a heart attack because of me. That's all I think in my head. So like, even though it's like, I'm like, dude, just don't fucking poke holes in my condoms. All right.
Yeah.
And then from that moment on, this is what I hide. I had to hide my condoms.
Are you worried he would do it again?
No, I'm not worried. But yeah, would he do it again? Yeah, I'm not worried about it. But he would do it again.
Fuck, man.
Dude, you should
That's
get,
horrible.
You should get a vasectomy.
My wife pokes holes in my condoms. No, I don't use condoms.
But yeah, I was telling you guys about like because they're like, what? You're like, why would you throw away the flashlight?
Yeah, why would you throw it away?
No, I'm
See,
thinking about
he said it the other day. Oh, I was thinking about throwing it away. I'm like, we get you it for a gift.
I'm thinking about trying to sell it.
To
No one
who?
will buy that.
Used
Who's going to buy a
Exactly.
used flashlight?
I'm gonna take a picture.
How many times
of
have you
and
used
Give it to a homeless
Twice.
guy.
Twice? How much you want?
You're creepy as all get at.
I'm kidding.
You give it to a
Yeah.
homeless dude.
Wait, you think
Sell it on Kijiji.
Or
No, I
free
want to
sale.
sell. I
Dude,
just want to try
somebody-
to sell it on Facebook.
Let Izzy buy it then if he
I'm not
wants
gonna
it.
buy it. I was kidding.
I know you weren't.
I was 100% kidding because
I watched
bought
it.
one before at the cheap one, like the $15 one. Felt
It's
weird.
good. The flashlight's still good. His dad poked a couple holes in it, but it's still good.
He's getting plastic pregnant. He's getting his... Don't just keep the goddamn flashlight.
Keep
Use
it for
every once in
sentimental
a while.
value too.
Fucking put some flowers in it or something, and then when he comes in, you fucking put your dick in it.
It's the ass one too.
What's wrong
right?
with you?
Nothing. It's just thinking about everything. I'm taking everything in at once.
Okay.
That's why my eyes.
Just put a flowers
I
in
just
it.
had a moment. I'm like I just realized I pay rent too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
so you
I
have
was
a
just
right to
thinking-
privacy.
Well, like I was thinking, like
Listen to
imagine
me.
like I lived with Jordan. I lived with you, and you found out I was poking holes in your condom.
Worst landlord ever.
First roommate, not even land.
we were like,
What does this
Sure.
even do for you? Like, how would this even benefit you? Like,
Listen, I want you to have a kid so he can start paying his portion of the rent too.
I'm not. I don't like where your life's going, Jordan.
Yeah.
So I think I tried to poke holes in your condom.
I'd have to use them for that to work. So
Yeah, he's just throwing them off the building with water in them. So it's
these are really shitty water balloons.
yeah, they
You
go
know
full of holes.
You know the crazy part is if I could picture my dad having conversations with his Greek friends, his old Greek friends. They're like, it was probably someone probably told
Yeah.
him to do that.
Yeah,
It's
that
like,
was-
Yeah,
you know what
probably.
you need to do. Like if you talk to any guy, any Greek guy that's like say 65 or older, they'd be all like, I don't see what the problem is.
You both have sad lives. Your dad's talking about you, and you got to worry about your condoms. It's like it's a.
When I was 12, no, 11
Did
or
he
so,
poke holes in your condoms then?
I had dry feet, like bad.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad took medical advice from welders because my dad was a foreman at Universal Handling,
Yeah.
and someone at work told him, "It's like, oh, just tell your son to pee in a jug, and when there's enough pee, soak his feet in the pee, and that will make his dry feet go away." Like I had cracked feet.
did it work?
No.
Did you guys start off with cream and then move to pee?
Yeah, like foot
Yeah, we
ointment.
tried everything,
Oh,
cream,
okay.
all these different things. I had I don't know why, because it just went away one day when I got older. But like it was like the bottom of my feet, you could see like red. It was so cracked.
Did it hurt?
Oh yeah, it was horrible. My feet were just super fucking dry.
Athlete's foot, right?
I don't know what it
No,
was.
athlete's foot is like kind
I
of.
would see specialists. They gave me
mold.
special creams. Nothing really worked.
Yeah,
But like I fucking someone else told them to put lemon. Yeah.
Oh, what the
yeah,
fuck?
Didn't we talk about this?
Yeah, we
once?
talked
we did.
about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Then we came up with the theory that it was just the guys at work that didn't like your dad.
That's
right. just smear some shit on the bottom of his feet. That'll work.
What else we
Yeah,
have?
no shit. Well, we've got. There was a woman who was fired at a comedy club for being
right.
a woman.
Yeah,
Apparently, where was this? Yeah.
I think it was in England. She was supposed to do the show, and they said it was too full.
Well,
And
you
No,
said-
they said
no,
too many girls.
too many women.
no,
already?
it was full, and then they emailed her and said that they're canceling her because they already have too many women.
on the roster.
So how
Yeah.
many women did they have?
I don't know. I guess they had one or two more.
One or two more women.
Yeah,
And there was like probably a show of 4 or 5.
yeah. They
people.
overbooked apparently, and then that's all I know. They overbooked.
I mean,
Do you think it's a case of they overbooked legitimately because they had 2 women on the show? It's
Yeah.
not like they didn't have any women on the show.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Sorry, we overbooked." And she's like, "Well, you're just not hiring me because I'm a woman." Or is it
no,
actually
she
like
posted
legitimate?
the email saying
Yeah.
she posted an email saying with their letter.
but for later on, for now and for future shows, we can't use you because we have enough women on our roster. Is
No,
that-
no, it wasn't that at all. It's just that show. They said they'll put her on other shows, but they said for that show, don't come down, don't bother coming, because the letter was clear. not to that
because they already have too many.
they
women.
have too many women on the roster.
How many men were on it?
I don't know. They didn't say.
Was it an all woman show?
It
No,
it was
show that would be too many women.
that's a lot of women for our show. No, it was just a regular show, but she's looked at as a product, like a thing.
I mean, everybody.
Yeah,
Every
but would they-
comedian
yeah,
is,
but
in
would
a
you
sense.
have a problem with anyone say to you, "There's too many white guys on the show"?
Who would say that?
Exactly.
I
There's
don't know.
but
that's
where's-
never a problem.
It's not about
That's
the
called
color,
a
though.
normal show.
Yeah.
It's not a color thing.
Yeah, no, it's discrimination.
Yeah, but it's like, would it happen saying there's too many men on the show?
No, they would never do that.
But there's probably all women shows that
They would do that
men
with black
can't do.
guys. I used to. Ronnie Edwards didn't want to have two of us on the show. I've had club owners pull me a Moa sign and say, "Oh, you're a comic who happens to be black." They do it all the time. When you're a minority, you're a novelty.
You're a niche thing.
Yeah,
Right,
you're a niche novelty.
Even
so
if you
strange.
if you look at shows like the Nubian Show or like even when it
The
isn't all
Nubian show was a reaction to that.
right, and I'm saying even if it is an all woman show,
Yeah.
they advertise the fact that it's an all woman show. But if it was just a bunch of white dudes doing a show, it wouldn't be like, oh, it's an all man show. It would just be like, oh, it's just a show. That's what
Yeah.
you're saying, right?
Yeah. For me as a comic, I have more problems because I don't advertise myself as the black comic. Mm-hmm. Whereas you,
I've been to the Nubian show where I'm trying to get on,
yeah.
and I'm like, there's already a white guy on. I'm like, I'm not getting on, because in my head, like, they're not going to put two white guys on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But have you been told that?
I don't know. No.
But that
I
makes
think
more
that-
sense, though.
But because
And
it's an all black show.
Yeah,
You're
but
lucky.
that-
They
that-
always just put one white guy usually.
I
They
don't
could
know.
possibly put two.
I don't
I
know.
think this chick. I don't think it's right.
No, it's
That
not.
she didn't get on the show.
No,
Hey, you got
it's not a
problems.
special. Was it a special show?
If they said to her, I could understand more if she had no leg to stand on. If they said, we just don't find you funny,
Yeah.
or we don't find your,
But
we
it
don't
was
want
a
your
special
comedy.
show?
No, it was just a regular show.
That makes no sense.
We don't want your comedy. Yeah, it makes sense in terms of. I know bookers. I get that where they're like, oh, it's like, oh, we got a woman on. You ever see? Oh, we need a woman on this
think
show.
the guy-
It's like
There's
radio.
a stigma for sure.
Yeah, there's a whole. We need a woman on this show.
Yeah, but do you think
Not that
they
they're
made a
funny or not.
mistake of like being honest with her?
I think they're idiots.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they should have like.
I think they should have said, look, we don't need you for this show for whatever reason.
Yeah, they opened with, "Oh yeah, we have too many women." If I were the booker, I would have just straight up said, I wouldn't have bumped her because she's a woman,
Right the mic a little more.
but I would have just been like, "Oh, sorry, we overbooked accidentally. We'll put you on next week."
Yeah,
That's what I would have done, but I wouldn't kick a comedian off because
it's the mentality too. Is so old school too.
yeah.
Like the mentality of, oh, we got too many women on this show.
Yeah, I think we're like over the thing of like yeah, people joke about it. I think still, but like I think it's kind of proven that women can be just as funny as
Yeah.
men,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
are
there's
just as
actually-
funny as men.
In Hamilton, there's some funny female comedians. I was
Yeah,
actually
definitely.
surprised, like, wow, there's quite a bit. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some unfunny male comedians.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's
But
way
that-
more. If you think about if you compare like, what do they call it? Like where
The
like,
ratio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's-
that's true.
there's way more unfunny guy comics than there is girl comics.
I
Absolutely.
think it's like that with the barrier entry. Like it's going to be a hard battle, so you won't do it unless you know you've got the chops to do it. Type of thing. Is it? You think it might be something?
Yeah.
like that?
Comedy's hard as it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible as it is. But
I've seen a lot of chicks just crash and burn.
yeah, and I've seen a lot of dudes crash and burn, too.
Yeah.
I just think like it's old school to be like putting those kind of labels on and like doing.
I think,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I
for
think
sure.
Ashley Moffat's really funny.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
she's
Yeah, she's
hilarious.
great.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the specific shows where it's like the wise guys, where it's like all the Italians, where they
I would never go see a show like that. But I don't see anything wrong with a show like that.
I think it's.
Yeah.
I think you got to do whatever. It's hard to
Yeah,
get people to go out.
That's more marketing to me than like.
I've done a bunch of Greek shows, but recently I did a show was a Greek and Italian show.
Yeah, but that was a good lineup.
Yeah,
It
but
still
besides
doesn't-
this lineup, it was like there was one theater was like there was must have been they got 1,000 people show up.
Yeah, the good lineup. You might get a guy that you think is not good in a regular crowd who fucking destroys like a Nubian show.
Mm-hmm.
So the lineup, I don't know. I understand the shows. It's just not my type of show.
Yeah,
Those type of comics that define themselves by that, I don't find funny.
yeah. I don't think I'd even be able to do like an Italian show because
You could. It's just you'd have to do a different style of an Italian show.
yeah,
Manolis tried to do it before with the Greek school dropouts.
Right.
Yeah, where it's like that's the kind of wavelength I have tried to do, but it's harder because the ethnic shows tend to get out older audience. Am I wrong? You probably know it better than me.
Not as much as you think, but enough.
Yeah.
Enough that it's can be a headache.
You're getting like 30 and older. Some in the 20s, but there's people that are like they're expecting a certain thing, and then when you're
Old
trying
Greeks
to do,
don't want to necessarily hear about your cock.
yeah, and when you're trying to do like a more of an alternative Greek show or whatever show, it's not the same.
Yeah, well, I find with Italians, they identify more with their culture, so you'd get like the older crowd at least. So I think you'd get a bunch of wops that are just like, oh yeah, let's go check out this paisan over here.
That's the black crowds are like that too, right? Like
Yeah.
you can hit certain beats and destroy it, like just fucking murder. But it's all changing too. There's a lot of comics coming up in the States who are not defining themselves by that, but are their ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I haven't seen an Italian guy like that. I'm sure there is. I guess Mike DeFastano is kind of like that, but he's dead. Right? Do you guys know him?
no,
Does Dice kind of walk that line a little
No,
bit?
Dice is playing a
he's
Dice
playing,
is actually Jewish too.
He's
Yeah.
playing a New Jersey Italian.
Yeah.
but he's
Yeah, that's the best part of
Mike
him.
DeFastano was like
Everybody
he's a
thought
drug
he was
addict.
Italian.
Yeah.
He
He's
comes
a
off,
drug
he
addict.
comes across
He died recently of AIDS, but he was a very alternative guy.
Oh,
yes,
I
I
actually
know
know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
So he's kind of there's not a lot of ethnic guys who are going in that direction, but there's guys coming up.
It's weird. I find like Dice seems to have more respect now than he did when he was huge.
Yeah, I think his.
I don't know what had
respect-
happened.
He just dropped off for a bit and then came back, I guess.
Yeah, he's making a comeback. Indestructible came out in 2012. His last special,
But-
which was all right.
I didn't mind him back in the day, but I do find him. I like him more now. Like I'm not as a person, not more than his comedy.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that? Is he that interesting? I don't know.
He had a reality show for a bit there
Did he? I don't
Yeah.
even.
When?
a few years ago.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I'm just not particularly a big fan of character
yeah.
stand-up.
Neither am I.
I don't mind it. Sometimes, if it's
Yeah.
done right,
What's the whole thing about?
depends.
I can't remember. I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast, or whatever. And they were saying that they were talking about how you get to that point in comedy where you are your act and your life becomes that, and then like if you're a character actor, you know, that's he basically is that guy on a day-to-day basis.
Who?
Dice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's comfortable being that guy, and he seems to be that guy in interviews, right?
Yeah, he tries to personify it a little
Yeah.
bit more.
I agree though. Like more recently, like I've listened to some podcast stuff with him on. I know he comes across really like brash, but he's a soft-hearted guy. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now more than ever, he's like really letting his like real like opinions bleed through, where
Well,
he's like putting his guard down a bit.
Yeah, I think he's just getting hip to it now that people like want honesty in comedy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's still doing his persona on stage, but now with the boom of podcasting, you know, when
He has a
people-
podcast too.
Yeah, exactly.
Does he have one? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's it called?
Rolling with Dice and something.
Okay.
I can't remember the other guy's name. I've only listened to like one episode. It's all right.
Okay.
Why is it all quiet?
Me and I just made eye contact. I forgot my train of thought. Can we discuss your pimp cup?
Oh, the Spider-Man one?
Yeah, at first I thought it was just something you had on your desk, and I saw you drinking out of it. I was like, good for you.
Oh yeah, it was supposed to make money back for me. I told my wife it's $20. I said, "Oh, it'll make me money."
And
How?
How exactly? I
You just
convinced
said
her
that so she
so I can
stop
buy it.
yelling at you?
Yeah, so I can buy it.
now you're just drinking out of it.
It's Spider-Man's face on a big pimp chalice. And
That's
I
pretty
drink
cool.
out of it all the
It's
time.
got the eyes are glittery
Yeah.
and it's got bedazzled jewels along the bottom rim of it.
Mhm. And then on the back it says a lot of the jewels have flaked off, but it says "Amazing Spider-Man."
Jewels have flaked off the same way people's bedazzled Tupac shirts flake off in the wash.
I don't understand. They don't get it.
You know, when I see something like that, I know like the franchise has to, or somebody in the franchise has to approve
Yeah.
anything that. So like
Yeah.
the guy just walks into the room with that, goes this. He's like, yeah, okay. And just
Yeah.
walks out. Like, how's that?
Well, it makes sense. I remember having a set of Spider-Man toys where like helicopter, a Jeep, and a motorcycle, and it pissed me off to no end.
Yeah.
Because why would Spider-Man need a helicopter? Like, why would he have a? Why
Yeah,
would? And it
that's a good
pissed
point.
me off
Not
to
bad
no fucking end.
Yeah.
That they would. So this makes more sense because the market they're going after is idiots like me to give a pen child.
Yeah,
Oh,
and-
big fucking chalice.
Yeah.
And obviously, Spider-Man or his alter ego, not his alter ego. What is his name? Is he Peter Parker or is
Peter
that-
Parker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because he's obviously going to the pimp ball, so he needs his own
Yeah.
pimp cup.
The haters ball.
Yeah,
Haters ball. His underwear looks like it has a dick hole.
See, you're talking about in the previous podcast about the Ninja Turtles, the movie, how it
Yeah.
it stood the test of time. That's like one thing I totally agree. That movie is like amazing. But
Which
the
movie?
one
That
thing,
first Ninja Turtles movie, live action.
did you know that movie was actually the highest grossing independent movie of all time up until the Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they came out with the second one right away.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they fucked it up because they got rid of all. They didn't use weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they were
yeah.
like kids were
oh fuck.
trying to use weapons and
The first movie was like a perfect blend of
Yeah.
like drama and like
and the
characters look so real.
and
like,
the facial expressions and everything.
Yeah.
And it was the first time they ever saw something like that.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
took
watch
away
this
the
movie.
weapons, so they didn't.
And the
second
second
one.
one.
That's bullshit. I don't remember the second one, but like there was the fucking Ninja Turtles. They had the bow staff, and they got.
Well, they made them
katanas and-
more cartoony, so they were cartoon. I know, but they made them fight like they were in a pizza store fighting with pepperoni sticks and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Ugh.
It was like that Disney thing. I remember I forget one of the actors. He was what was that? He was a cast member. Remember who was it? Who shot JR? What show was that?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah.
He was on Dallas. This guy,
Yeah.
old school actor, but he was like originally got a thing on Disney, and he had like he was kind of some sort of superhero. But he said that they had to make the suit like he almost had to tuck.
Mm.
He was a guy because he was, even though it was like TV, they wanted him to seem like he had no genitals
For kids.
because of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a known
yeah.
fact. Kids do not have genitals.
Yeah.
And they don't like them. They don't like them.
Like, I get that you can't put a fucking rod on them. Like, you know what I mean? But
It's hard on.
just put, you can.
It's the crotch uncommon valley. That's what it is. It's just that uncommon valley for crotches.
I don't know. I don't think that stuff has a effect on kids as much as people think that it does. Per se, violent video games. In
Whoa,
whoa, the
segue.
Segway master, watch
Yeah,
out.
I don't think video games has any effect.
No, I mean, there was in 2007 there was the Virginia Tech shooter, and after that, you guys remember that?
Yep.
After that happened, Dr. Phil went on Larry King's show
Video games.
and said, yeah, he was basically saying that, yeah, I hate Dr. Phil. He was,
I wouldn't be surprised if Hollywood's paid to make those kind of statements because video games, were, especially at that time,
Yeah,
took a
that's-
huge chunk out of movies.
right,
Fuck,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think people probably have stake in it
There's
because,
always agendas with this shit.
yeah, there has to be.
Yeah.
So he came on and said that violent video games mixed with somebody being a psychopath and seeing repeated images of violence will lead them to committing violence. But the Virginia Tech shooter didn't even own any video game consoles and never played video games. So it doesn't even make sense for him to try.
Okay, so are you saying is it possible though?
Is it possible that it has
Anything's
an effect?
possible. I mean,
But
you're
what
talking
he's saying,
about
his point is that if someone is got
anything's possible. Anything's possible. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, research shows that it's actually if aggressive, violent video games are played for a longer period of time, it will actually reduce aggression.
That's what I was gonna say, and that's
Really?
why I kind of disagree because
So
they always
it's
say
like
that
working
like
out.
they say that about like pedophilia. Like if you give them access to it, they
Is he
don't
coming?
harm kids, and it's like the
just because.
hey, did you
I
say
didn't
pay
catch that.
attention?
No, I said, is he comment?
No. He thinks he's a pedophile.
No,
Hey,
not actually. It's just a
pedophile.
joke.
You think
Sure.
you're a
No, he thinks I'm a
Oh, I was gonna
pedophile.
say that you usually
I
don't
find
make it
one
public.
girl on television attractive, and now I'm a pedophile.
Oh, great!
Little
I'll
girl.
edit that out too.
No,
Sorry, buddy. Sorry to
it's
interrupt
like,
you.
Yeah, no problem.
you were saying that pedophiles that watch child porn
yeah.
more?
Well, they have access. Like, there's been research where if they have access to it, they don't harm kids. And like for video games, I would say that's a way of
Problem is you-
expressing that
How did
violence.
they research that? The first part. How is
They do all of it.
Oh, they'll
There's
do-
child porn exists.
Yeah, yeah.
no? But how do they?
They just do
There
the
was
research.
a study like, hey, we need some diddlers?
Yeah, why wouldn't they
Well,
do the study?
I think
But
probably
how, so some guys like I kind of want to diddle kids.
Oh, they get people from prison who are charged with it.
there's also programs in the States where you can go into a program for research, and if they feel like at the end of the research that you're not going to do anything, that you can just go because you've helped contribute to the pool of research that they're
Wow, that's
Or they
crazy.
go to
defense.
prisoners.
Yeah, exactly.
They go to
prisoners.
prisoners.
So
You
they
get a
sup-
prisoner to do it.
So they supply child porn to these.
No, what they would do
researchers?
is interview them, and I guess I don't know all the. It was a while ago too, but there's some background as to how many people have actually committed, assault against children, and then people who've actually watched child porn and they've brought them in and figured out somehow that they hadn't. The people who were watching child porn hadn't done any of that, and the people who had been caught raping kids and all that stuff didn't have access to it at all. Like, I guess there's more to it than that.
So, and then you're saying like, so people that watch violent video games tend to be less violent,
Well, like people who play them, not
or
necessarily.
play them, yeah.
Not necessarily for sure, but what happened was there was I can't remember the guy's name, but there was a psychologist in the States after GTA came out and whatnot, who was trying to prove that violent video games had a negative effect on kids. So he brought all this research and stuff, and they were basically having a debate about it. And then two other psychologists came in and basically proved everything he said wrong and
Right.
showed their research that said if somebody plays violent video games for a longer period of time, it'll actually reduce their aggression. And the Senate overturned the bill and basically said that they're not going to ban violent video games because they fall under freedom of speech.
It's confirmation bias. It's like saying whenever you're in the middle of a road, people get hit, so let's get rid of all the roads.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like it's just
It is
confirmation bias.
odds
Yeah.
shit's gonna happen.
And
And
how
there's
many-
always an odd that there's gonna be
Right.
something caused because of video games. That's just odds. You can't just
Yeah, and
the
I mean,
odds are probably lower, like you said, based on that research. But it's gonna happen.
Gives them an outlet
Yeah.
to express those frustrations. Like
I
they're
don't
still
understand.
crazy, but that's just like it's venting.
I don't understand
Yeah.
that we live in a world where you have to fucking placate the stupid. Who gives
Yeah.
a fuck about the
So
stupid?
you don't think it's
Let the
possible to
stupid
go the
die.
other way then?
What do you mean?
Like if I'm like I have violent tendencies, like, and I play violent video games, I might go out and be more violent.
personal thought, I don't think video games really affect it, and I don't think you're going to be more violent. I think you may learn ways to be violent. You may, because there were two kids who were watching The Sopranos or something, and they killed their mom and disposed of the body the same way that they did on The Sopranos.
Yeah, but-
It's not that these kids aren't going to do that anyway.
They
They
just
just
figured
maybe
out- yeah.
learned a way to do it through The Sopranos.
They just did it properly.
Yeah, that's all
Well, they still
emotional.
got caught.
It's all emotional immaturity, right? Like,
Right.
You're gonna do it exactly what you said. You're gonna do it anyway.
And if you're so psychotic that you're willing to kill your own mother,
Yeah, if
I
you
mean, you're going to do it anyway.
If you
Either
can't
way,
if you can't look at something that's not real and realize that it's not real and the repercussions of it, and you don't have fucking like the conscience to go, hey, I shouldn't do that because that's my mother and that's terrible. Then you're a fucking psycho anyway, right? Like no video game or TV show or anything.
So crazy's
is gonna-
crazy, and
Crazy's
there's not-
crazy.
yeah. And there was these studies that they did a long time ago when crime comics were coming out and depicting like violent images to children. And there was a psychologist who, like crime comics, it was like stories of like basically people committing crimes or whatnot. It was, I think this was in like the 40s or
It was before
50s or
they came
something
out
like
with the
that.
Comics code.
Yeah. And so they actually found that children were more likely to be able to disseminate between reality and fiction than the adults who didn't have that sort of thing in their childhood. So because they had that in their childhood,
way.
they could
but that
actually
makes sense.
change it. They could actually make a distinction in between
Kids seem
both of them.
smarter now.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Kids seem smarter now
absolutely.
than when I was a kid. Kids seem like way more alert with all this kind of shit.
And that's the thing. I mean, people have a perception, I think, all the time that the next generation is worse. And they're like, well, look at all these kids on their cell phones. Everyone's distracted on their cell phones. Yeah, but we can also, like, the generation who grew up with cell phones can also multitask a lot better than generations before them.
Yeah, and the generation before, after you guys, they're like kids programming shit.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's-
exactly.
Apps and shit like that.
So maybe
Exactly.
that's
so
why.
much smarter.
See, I find that I'm not like if I'm on my cell phone, whatever. If I have to do something, I can't text and talk to Gavin or you. I have to do one or the other. Maybe that's why, because I didn't really grow up with a cell phone.
Yeah, exactly. It makes
So
a
that's
world
why
of
I'm
difference.
not good at
Yeah, you didn't.
multitasking.
Did you have computers in your house and stuff like that when you were a kid?
I did, but I never used. I never used it.
But you played video games.
I played video games, but same thing. Even when I played video games, I just play. I remember just.
You had pattern recognition in those games. So like when you were playing that crocodile game, you know the pattern of it, and you learn the pattern very quickly.
Right.
I've had a Pitfall, was it?
Yeah,
Pitfall.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're good at those old games.
But then also take the opposite side of that. Manolis can tell a story better than anybody else and be so involved in a conversation, like way better than I can.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well, because our generation we had to use our imaginations more.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's just different. But it's just different ways of thinking. That's all it is.
Yeah. I just think that the whole violent video game debate is kind of bullshit.
It is all bullshit.
Yeah,
I think it's
so.
just pandering. Like, it's that whole affluenza thing where it's like, oh, you can just now somebody can just get off because
They're
associated with something. Right?
I think it's people in big business trying to shut down other avenues of money.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I never even thought of that.
And I think
That's
control. It's always falls back to some sort of religious platform.
Mm-hmm. I was watching this documentary about hip hop, and they were talking about how they place product placements in their songs. Like they have spaces for product placements. Mm-hmm. And I was watching the news, the CNN or something, and this general is on there talking about this helicopter that they're using out in Iraq or something, and it's the same fucking thing. Mm-hmm. Like he's doing a product placement for this company. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same fucking thing. I don't even know how that related.
I watched I didn't watch it. I read a letter of this dude who was he's gonna be executed next month.
Yeah,
and it was on Gawker. It was his last.
I heard about this.
Did you check it out?
I didn't. I know I haven't checked it out, but I heard about it.
You should, man. You should read it. Yeah, it's really good. He was talking about how.
Should I read it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, racist. Just because I can't read, you don't look at me. Just look right at Gavin.
It should be.
You should read it.
It should be can, not should.
Gavin, you should read it to Manolis.
At night, at bedtime.
Sorry, Manolis.
So what happens in this letter?
The guy was saying, I read it and I was like, oh, this is really convincing and stuff. And the one thing that I took out of it that was interesting was he was talking about how the reason why black people are so inclined to think that being rich is so important and how they base everything off of that because their cultural identity was stripped from them during slavery and stuff like that. So he says, of course they're going to be, black youth are going to be confused and disoriented and stuff because they don't know who they are. They have no point of reference to find out their cultural heritage, really.
It's the same when I always talk about comics who get mad at other comics.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It's like they don't know who they are, so they're like everything is. They don't know who they are, so they can't define who they are, so everything's a threat.
Yeah,
it's the same idea. Yeah,
and I read the letter and I felt like a lot of sympathy for this guy, and he's getting executed next month because he said that I guess he killed he was involved in somebody getting killed, but in the letter he says that he wasn't even the one that actually killed the guy. He was just there.
Yeah.
And then I found out that he slit the guy's throat, but the guy didn't die, so he held him down while his friend stabbed him. And I was like, maybe this guy's an asshole. Yeah, in the letter. But I mean, it was still an interesting point about how
they don't have there's no identity.
Yeah, they're kind of disenfranchised.
Yeah, it's changing now.
Yeah,
because you're getting more. I would say that makes sense. I think a lot of people are like that, not just black people, but I think a lot of people are like that.
I just feel like the way to not solve the problem, but always make it better is that everybody needs to be blended in together. If that makes any sense. When you have high concentrations of white people, it's bad. You have high concentrations of any race or any.
Yeah, I agree with that.
By my work, there's this thing called Living Rock or whatever, and it's just a lot of troubled kids all hanging out, talking about their ideas, and they're all not all of them are negative, but you know what I mean. Like there's no good influence or medium influence or anything like that. It's just all these kids who have the same thought process about how to execute a day. Mm-hmm. and I don't know, even when I was younger, we lived in housing and stuff like that, Hamilton housing or where we were living at the time. And they always put all the housing and all that level of income in the same area, and then there was always trouble in that area. I'm like, why don't you disperse it across the whole city? Why would it be concentrated? I know it's kind of a rant, but
No.
No, it's all good.
No,
it's
you're
all
right,
about
though.
diversity. Like as a poor kid when I was younger, it was the best thing to throw me in with middle class people because I that become my I don't
Goal.
know. Yeah, it's a goal, right?
Yeah.
Like something you aspire to be, right?
Rich
So-
kids act completely different
Mhm.
than poor kids.
Yeah.
Because poor kids are like scared of losing money or not getting money, and like poor kids are taught to be to be subjugated, and rich kids are like taught you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, they're more entitled.
You're right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just do it. You're the greatest thing ever. You can do whatever you want. You have the connections. Go.
When I used to work at Pinky Lewis, I was like, I was back then. I was into my job in the sense of like just trying to always make the rec center better for kids to have something to do. Like I knew it was a lot of poor kids there, and I remember this one this kid named Brian, but he got kicked out like 3 or 4 times before I started working there for just vandalizing shit in the rec center. I think one of the things he broke one of those air dryers for your hand. He broke it right off the wall. This 12-year-old kid broke it off the wall. He got banned for 2 months. But anyways, this kid's like. But I was like always like I just became friends with him and all the other kids anyways. And it was Saturday. I would say, hey man, I'll give you I'll buy you a bag of chips if you go pick up some litter around the rec center. Just stuff like that I always do. And if I had time, I'd go out with them too. I just do stupid things like that all the time. Not necessarily stupid, but so
Motivating things for
yeah,
them.
just trying to. I don't know. I thought like, well, just make the area look better
Yeah.
because it was kind of shitty in a way.
You kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You give a kid who maybe can't afford a bag of chips, and you get to have the rec center actually look nice and
Nicer.
have some pride in it.
Yeah.
Well, and also giving the kids some purpose too.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's
So
true.
anyways,
At that age, it's like awesome when like someone older is like, "Can you do this?" And I'll give you something for it. Like,
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
So this kid, time goes by, and then one day I'm just outside in front of the rec center, and I'm just standing there, and he's like 12 or 13 at this point, right? And he's like, we're outside, and this other kid, his buddy, just goes, we're outside, and I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't even care. And his buddy goes like this. He goes, and it spits. He just wanted to spit. He spit on the ground. And this Brian hits his buddy on the shoulder and goes, hey, man, what the fuck you doing? He goes, what? He goes, you don't spit here. You don't spit on the fucking ground here. You don't spit on fucking Pinky Lewis ground. What the fuck? What do you fucking do? Started like getting, I'm like, holy fuck! I couldn't believe like this kid. Like I wasn't even upset, but he was. He was actually so that like it meant something for him. And this area meant something to him that he was actually pissed off at his friend for just spitting on cement. And I was like, fucking
Taking
right,
ownership.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good for you.
ownership of it. Yeah.
So
That's
I
kind of
think-
what's happening in Hamilton in general right now. A lot of like neighborhoods, people who living in the neighborhoods are like taking ownership and getting proud of like the city and their communities and everything.
and I
For
think
that.
there's definitely some good in that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Man.
I think your identity thing is the most important thing. If you don't have an identity, you're like fucked. If you don't know who you are, it's like that's why that whole thing is like when you fuck with someone's imagination. You know what I mean? Like when you when you make a whole group of people think that they're one thing or like just that simple idea, they can't expand past it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that bothers me the most is like, oh, that's not acting black or that's acting white or whatever is the worst thing because you're telling a group of people, an entire group of people that they can only be this one construct. And then once you can imagine past that, you're like stuck. You're stuck in that. If you can't define yourself by more than one thing, you're fucked.
Why do you think it's so important for us as humans to try to define ourselves and who we are?
Because it's gonna sound so stupid, but
it won't sound stupid.
You create your reality. That's the way we've been taught is that you create your reality. So if you can't think past one thing of how you see, like if we just define ourselves as comedians and it's not going well, we're fucked, right? Like that's all we are as a comedian. Then you're fucked.
Yeah.
We have to be more than that. You're more than what you think you are. This is just the physical representation of what we are. And so you can, if your brain can go, oh, I can be whatever I want, then that's why, to me, what Obama was important. Because it was showing black youth that you can be not what
You
he
can
stands.
wear a suit if you want.
You can wear a suit, but it was like to a group, a generation, a whole generation of people. Is like, oh, okay, that the limits have changed.
Yeah.
And I knew what was going to happen was the stereotype or the image that was in pop culture would change.
Mm-hmm.
And so
did it? Do you think it did?
Yeah, it's just, because now you're seeing smarter black people being represented as a normal thing. Not that it didn't exist before, but it's like it's more of a normal thing.
Yeah, did it exist before? It was kind of like a patronizing thing. Like there was like Steve Urkel was like a.
Well,
like
you're
an
thinking about nerdy, but I mean, like
Okay.
it does exist. It just was. It wasn't one of those things where
It's
it's
become normal to have it in the mainstream.
well, it's like they can. It's all the images are all about selling product, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once you put that image into selling product, it becomes what you said, normal.
Mhm.
So that's what it was. It was like, oh, that's a normal image. We can put that out there.
I always viewed identity as as basically like this is a bit more pessimistic, but as a way to create like self-worth. As our idea to just if you can create an identity, maybe you can fit into something and have some self-worth and make this life have some sort of purpose or meaning.
Yeah, but that's the same thing as like you could, but you can create any identity you want and become whatever you want.
Because I'm white?
No, because I mean, see, that's the thing. As a white male, you don't have that limits of it. That's where we go back to the chick with she's like, oh, we have too many female on the show.
Yeah.
It goes back to that. Like, you don't have to worry. That's not a thing that you have to worry about. Like, you're just a comic. You can be whatever you want. Whereas when you're a minority or you're something or one of those marginalized groups, you're only looked at as that certain thing. So that's why it's important to go, I'm more than that. That's why fucking with imagination is the worst thing you could possibly do to any kid.
Like teachers and parents fucking with imagination?
Fucking with any kid's imagination.
Well, I mean, how would you fuck with someone's imagination?
Well, they do it all the time, right? Like with ego, right? So that's what the ego is built up. It's from when you're a kid, you go to school, they try to streamline you into something. You watch TV, they tell you or something. Like there's tons of images on TV.
So that's what's fucking with the imagination. You're saying just getting people
it's
ready for
when
the
you-
workforce.
It's that, but it's a whole bunch of things. It's just building an identity for yourself. Like the idea, like they're changing, but like I complain about all the time. But you always see those Superman movies, or you watch like read a comic book, and every character is white in the comic book.
Right.
You don't see yourself at all. It's a minor thing to other people, but that's something that gets programmed in your head. Like I always laugh about it. Like white people, you guys do fucking everything. If you watch movies, you guys are amazing. You guys do everything, right? And it's not me trying to be racist or anything. It's just that's something you guys wouldn't notice. I don't think. Like if you go to a movie and it's continuous
I'm
characters.
noticing
Not
it
growing
more,
up.
to be honest with you.
But now,
Same. But
What's
it's
that,
like
Izzy?
I was just saying I notice it more now.
you guys live in a different generation too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything's more multicultural for you.
Yeah, but starting at like early TV for me, like Full House versus Family Matters, it was like they just like completely separated it to two different worlds. Kind of as like, oh, okay, well, I love Family Matters, but I related more to Full House.
Yeah, you relate to yourself, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard that the characters in Family Matters have the same names as the characters in that show Dinosaurs.
I don't know.
What was Family Matters again?
Steve Urkel.
Oh, sorry. I should have known that.
I never really watched the show.
You didn't watch
What?
Family
I
Matters?
didn't watch Family Matters.
Yeah,
I guess, yeah, it
because
was-
you felt like you couldn't watch it because you were going with the stereotype of like, oh, I have to watch this because I'm black. So you went against it.
That's right. I just found it boring. But I found it really boring. I think what year did Family Matters come out and all that?
91, I think.
Yeah, I
don't
was like
remember
I was in grade
exactly.
11, so I'm like at that point I'm like
That
fuck.
Urkel character was
Someone say
just
fuck
so
on TV.
boring.
Yeah, the whole thing was boring.
Just a
When
boring.
did you start doing stand-up?
94, I think,
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you were just about...
out of high school.
You were
Okay.
in like 17, 19?
18, 19, yeah.
I was 97. I started when I was 27.
Yeah.
I was like
Oh, wow.
27 years old. I know. That's old in a sense.
Well,
start
for just
anything.
start stand up, yeah, I'm kicking myself out like every day for taking so long to actually, because I didn't start until I was like 22.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that stuff,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Whatever age you start, you start. It's different now, dude. The whole fucking system is different.
You
Doesn't
gotta-
matter.
I think the most important thing to remember is that it's like if you're doing it for happiness, like if it actually just creates happiness for yourself, then there's no problem at all.
No, yeah,
And the
absolutely.
system's completely different too.
What did you tell me something that like Russell Peters said to you one time? Or it was you and Ron or something?
Oh, he said,
I thought it was genius. It's been sticking in the back of my head.
but you don't remember it.
No, I do. I do remember.
He
I'll
said
tell
something
you.
about.
I thought you
he's-
wanted my
oh yeah, I forget.
business.
Oh yeah, you worry too much about the business. That's what he
But
said.
what did he say? If you take the when you take the
Oh,
business,
that's what Breslin said that to me. That
I thought it was Russell said that to you.
what was it saying?
It's like when you don't worry about when you do stand up, when you don't worry about the business
That
of it,
you're funny.
you're funny.
Yeah, that's what Russell said to me.
Yeah.
We
that
actually
when you
talk about
said-
this at work. I run a web company downtown, and
What's the
we
web
talk-
company's name?
Orbital.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's just a plug.
Yeah, I could go into it a little bit more, but it's actually I always say if you're here because you love to do this stuff,
Yeah.
then you're here for the right reasons. If you don't like what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. Like I always felt like if you really really love what you're doing, that and you're good at, well, you'll get good at it because you have so much passion for it that you will eventually get paid for it, and you should focus on that. I guess.
Yeah.
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 Keep focusing on it. The thing is, I do really like it, but I'm not making a living off of it. I
It
get
could
by.
happen. It
It
just
might
hasn't
happen
happened
one day.
yet,
Maybe
right?
it just hasn't happened.
Yeah, but
yet,
like doing stuff like this, like the medium is changed. I just read an article which like in Hollywood you got to go out and get it. So doing stuff like that, you're defining how you want it to happen.
right. I'm
Yeah.
not saying. I'm just saying like I still believe in what you're saying. I'm
Yeah.
just saying it. I think also sometimes it takes longer than you think for.
Oh, for sure it does. Yeah.
Look at Louis.
Yeah.
Louis didn't really make it until his like early
What was it?
40s.
Yeah,
Well, that's
but
what
he-
Bill Burr was. He was saying on the podcast, is like never give up, just keep going. Doesn't
That's why you
matter,
have
even
to
if you
enjoy
die.
it. Yeah. If you
Even if you die not doing it, just keep going.
I think that's most important. If you just if you like, it's easy not to give up
Yeah.
if you like it.
Mm-hmm.
If you just like doing it.
Well, even for me, it's a little. This is a little bit different from what we were talking about. But I wanted to move to Toronto so I could do more stand up. But me and Jordan were talking about it. He's like, really though, what's the point? Like, you know, you still love it. You're still doing it here in Hamilton. You don't really have to make that move to.
I'd say move to New York instead of Toronto.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
but,
what I would say.
you know
but
what though?
you can still if this is something that you love, like we have all the access to stage time and stuff here. You could do it here. You don't have to like uproot and go to it.
It's up to you to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
If
Exactly.
you want it to be a better gym, make it better.
That's what I was gonna actually say. Like, even in the tech industry, there's always this thing. It's like I'm gonna move to Toronto because that's where it's good. It's like we don't think about all the people who made it good. You're just sucking off of that. You know, what I mean? You're not establishing anything. Like Hamilton's like at this weird like renaissance stage where like you could really like this is the groundwork level, right? And
Yeah.
I'm new to the scene. I've only been doing this for a month or whatever, but I've watched as an observer from the outside for a while, and it's like early years Boston. You know what I mean? Like, and Hamilton's got like that right mix of arts and culture and
Yeah.
everything going on right now. Where if you took that by the reins, and
But there's no pretension in any of it.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
about the stand. I'm talking about the stand up.
Yeah,
Stand up pretentiousness or whatever.
Yeah, there's no like. There's the art and and there's culture, but there's no pretension with it.
Are you
Everyone's
saying
just doing themselves.
specifically in Hamilton.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah,
that.
I agree 100%.
Oh, I agree.
And I think it's very much like
you
the
guys
Boston
have been
scene.
like I just like parachuted in here. You guys all been super accepting of me just going on stage and giving me
that-
time. Yeah.
That's the coolest thing about stand up is like if you're in it for the right reasons, is you're like we also recognize the other people that are in it for the right reasons. And it's like a guy like you, like done it 4 times,
Yeah, before. Yeah.
maybe 4 times, and you're already we like, hey, you want to be on our podcast?
Yeah, I super appreciate that. By the way, I love
But
that.
it's like, but
Thanks
that's
for
the
doing
thing,
it,
like,
man.
You
Yeah.
could be one, like you could be like you could do it stand up one time and be 1 degrees of separation to someone that knows someone like Russell Peters.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
know,
crazy
that's
thing
crazy.
about stand up.
yeah.
Or whoever else famous that maybe someone else here but knows. But I also feel like the Hamilton scene, what's special about it is like like not just me and Gavin, but you guys. I think we've all slowly made it so it's like there's no like there's there's the Anne Francis guys, right?
Yeah.
But the Anne Francis, it's not like there's the Anne Francis guys and then
Yeah.
and then there's
We're all
us.
part
No
of
clicks
it.
and stuff.
There's no clicks.
Yeah.
Hamilton slowly, no matter who gets in, if
but
they're in it for the right reasons, they become part of the gang.
That started with you and then me, and then it was not that I'm saying we created, but it was that influence of us being headliners and pros trickling down.
Yeah.
So they were like, the pretension is just gone. Like, we're beaten up.
Yeah,
We
me
can't
and you
be
are.
help about who we are, and they're like, these guys are really honest with themselves too. Like, you guys are just, you don't have pretension. You're just like, I'm going to grind. And
I think
what
that's the
I'm gonna do.
most. I think it's not the most important part, but it's the part I like the most about the scene.
Yeah.
Is that when I walk into like the Corktown or Yuck Yucks, no matter who I see, I'm like, hey dude.
Yeah.
It's like there's no like. Oh
There's no resentment. I find
No.
too.
no! There's like we're all like we all want to try to help each other
Yep.
if we can
Yeah.
in whatever way it is. But there's no like go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
I don't want to see that person get ahead. I don't want to see
Yeah.
that person get
Oh yeah. That
Yeah.
guy. I don't want guy to have any success.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like we're all kind of rooting for each other, whether it's secretly or like letting it be known. But there's no, you know what I mean? We share each other's videos. We say, so it's, we talk about your radio show all the time. If I see your poster about your radio show on Fridays,
you share it all the time.
I always share it.
But like
Yeah,
that's
appreciate
the,
that.
that's the
Thanks,
other
man.
thing is like having like you have these access to stuff like his show and stuff like that where it's just it's a good scene. It's small and it can be frustrating, but it's a good scene.
But but I've watched your stand up a couple times now, and I can tell that you're. I can tell you can write a joke and you think and you're funny. I get you're
I love
you
criticism,
can do it.
so don't worry
No,
about it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
can, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
There's potential.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
potential.
Yeah.
But I also get that you're not. What's more important is that I get that number one you care, and number two that you're just not a cheese doodle.
I didn't
You
do
know?
that.
Yeah.
But if you were a cheese doodle,
Yeah.
there's no way. Like,
Yeah.
trust me, I can tell you, I could show you 10 guys I would invite to this.
Yeah.
I had a dude
no.
come up to me in Toronto. He's talking to me, and you just tell they're a cheese doodle. That's what Manolis says.
Yeah.
And he's like asking me, how do I can't get on Yucks? What do I need to do? And I'm just like, I can't even talk to you, man.
Yeah.
And they went up and bombed on stage, and you're like, that's why you're not in Yucks.
Yeah, it's like, why wouldn't you? That's a crazy thing too. It's like they're asking you, how do they get on Yucks? Not how do they make funnier jokes or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how they write a joke
And-
better.
and
You know what I
is
mean?
Yucks?
That's the difference.
It's like this little tiny thing in all of comedy.
But I mean, even
and that's
like
what you're stressed about.
it's just like kind of Freudian. Like they're showing their motivations
Yeah.
of what they really
Yeah.
want. It's not like when we talked about stand up a lot when I was like just starting out, man, like what did we talk about all the time? How to write good jokes
Yeah.
and like how to like be funny.
Yep.
But like we never talked about how to get ahead in business. Maybe we should have, but we didn't.
Maybe.
Well, I think we just spend more time trying to make our own little scene better because how many times have like people just promoted other shows rather than trying to promote their own shows? Like you were saying how you share Jordan's radio show all the time. I think there's more effort trying to help it as a whole, whereas other scenes it's more like I need to get myself ahead or like how do I get onto the
That's a
Yuck
good
Yucks?
point.
it's
That's a
not
good point.
perfect. The
I
scene's
just-
not perfect.
I like
No,
it,
the
but
no
it's-
scene will ever be perfect.
I mean, I know I might seem wrong to think this way, but I like the feeling of the underdog.
Yeah,
Whatever
me
the.
too.
I always feel like I've been an underdog.
an outsider.
I've always
Yeah.
felt like I'm an outsider. Like, and when you listen to things that when I talk about, like when the way I went through school, and it's obvious, like yeah, I was never the cool kid, you know, and it's like, that scene where it's like in Train Spotting where they go for that hike. You
Yeah.
ever watch Train Spotting?
Yeah.
you seen it?
Yeah.
But
A while ago.
his one buddy was like the guy that wasn't doing fucking drugs, that wasn't doing heroin, and he was trying to, hey, come on, guys, let's go for a hike, and you're thinking like that'll show you guys, show you
How great it is.
how great
Yeah.
it is, and that you don't have to fucking. So they make it to this little bridge that goes over a creek, and they just stop and sit there, and one guy I think opens a beer, and they're like, he's like, come on, what are you doing? Come on, we're going, and it's just beautiful mountains, like. And he goes on this crazy rant where it's like, what are you talking about? He's like, we're the lowest of the low.
Yeah.
No one likes us. And no, he's like, and you think we're going to go out for this hike? Nope. He's like, basically saying, there's no bloody walk in the world's going to change all this.
Yeah.
This is who we are, man. And his buddy's like, all right. And they just turn around and go back. They don't go for the hike.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like I am. And anybody that I feel like I meet that relates to that, I want to help. Because I know what it's like to not get help.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the tech scene, there's actually in Hamilton, it's also going through a huge, I would say not explosion, but there's like a lot of companies that are getting like moving to Hamilton in the tech scene, and there's this vibe where like you'll see another company and they're bigger than you and they're doing bigger things, but like you just have a better relationship with like competitors. It's not even like a competition thing in Hamilton, like in the tech scene. It's very much like if you get ahead, I get ahead. We all get ahead. We all do better. If you might you might represent Hamilton a little bit stronger, but because of that, we can exist. You know what I mean? So there's that.
It's also it's important to find your voice because you're not worried about looking a certain way. Mm-hmm. You're just like there's no up from here. It's just this is it. Mm-hmm. And so all you're worried about is doing stand up. So all you care about is just doing whatever's honest to you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not worried about who's in the back of the room and what crew you could fit in and how you look on stage. You're not worried about your persona. I've never heard you guys talk about what's my persona.
Yeah,
that's where I came from. That's Toronto, where you're like, what's my persona? What do I represent? You guys never say that shit. You're not worried about it. It's just that's so much better.
It's just like, why do you think that is? I think it's just like I don't know. I've just never thought of it something like that.
Because in Toronto, Toronto's way better at business than we are. Yeah, they're just trying to figure out how to get out of Toronto.
Is it just like the culture of Toronto compared to Hamilton?
Yeah, it's not really a culture. It's more of all right, I got to get good to get out of here to get, you know what I mean? And how do I market myself? The marketing comes first, and then the product. But sorry,
I was gonna cut you off. I was gonna say anybody who's like made it, you don't hear them having those conversations. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you have to have the marketing, right? Like that, you got to market. But the product. We just don't think about that side of it. I don't think we do, but not to that level.
Mm-hmm. I think it even comes down to. I know it sounds cliche to say, but like Toronto's more hipstery and pretentious, and people are a little more self-involved. You know, like you go out to the shows. And I'm not going to say what rooms I was at just because I do like getting spots, but everyone was at the back stroking the ego of the guy that's made it somewhere because they want to show off to this person and like get their push up too. And rather than actually sitting and watching and trying to support the show, everyone's got their own agenda to get, like, oh, this guy's the cool guy. I'm going to hang out with him and try,
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't shit on Toronto. It's got its stuff.
Absolutely. I like doing spots in Toronto. It's great, but especially because
it's just not the same unity. That's all. No. Mm-hmm. There's clique. Toronto's they support each other, but now it's more like a high school clique thing. Yeah. What clique you're in?
My main thing was rather than like how you were saying that guy asked you how to get on Yucks. When I go to Toronto, I'm not concerned about getting on the bigger shows. I want to see if I can hold the audience attention because the audience there is a little harder to work with.
Why do you find that?
Because everyone's at the back.
Oh.
Well, you're talking about a shitty open mic though, where it's all room full of comedians.
Absolutely.
A good Toronto show is easy.
Killer.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Toronto audience, even Mississauga is awesome.
They're desperate for something different in Toronto because they see a lot of the same shit.
Yeah, but that's why I try to take that opportunity to get the attention of the comics at the back because every time I've done an open mic spots,
you shouldn't even care about it.
No, well, for me, I just like that little challenge.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
What's the? I mean, I just started this. So I have no interest in like getting spots or anything. But what's that transition like? That's something I've always wondered. Like, do you just like you keep doing open mics and then after a while they're just like, oh, you should do a thing? Like,
if you figure that out, let me know that too.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's just simple ways to. I mean, like, there's a Yuck Yucks has their amateur night, right?
Yeah.
On Tuesdays.
You start feeling it when you get closer to it.
Yeah, but there's this. You just ask, how do you get on amateur night? It's like, oh, you just call this number. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know, to get on like amateur night and stuff like that. But
Oh, well, like,
I thought
for,
you were talking
like,
about
booked
getting
gigs?
promoting.
yeah, I guess
You
that's
start
what-
feeling it. You start understanding it.
Yeah.
There's other book gigs that are really shit, but you'll start feeling, okay, I'm.
You got to ask, but there are also a lot of guys too. About the cool guys, all also like, hey, let you know, like, oh, there's this room, there's that room.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I'm like nowhere near that point yet, but I still thought about it. I'm like, when does it happen? Does it like, somebody come down and like
someone from Letterman shows up and puts their hand on your shoulder and says it's time.
Come with
Let
me.
me talk to you at the back of the room.
Come with me. Climb this rope ladder. There's a helicopter waiting for you.
It was I heard an interview with Jerry Seinfeld talking about what's the guy's name? Jackie Gleason,
Yeah.
right? Fucking from Honeymooners.
Yeah.
I just saw one of his sets, and he's like, told him like, "You're gonna be famous, kid." He's something like, "You're gonna be you're gonna be so famous it makes me sick." It he like basically bothers him that he's gonna you're gonna be more famous than me. Like that's one of the first.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but at different times.
Yeah,
but Jackie, can you imagine Jackie Gleason?
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
Jackie Gleason used to tour across the country on a train in his own car, and they used to just get drunk. They would just get shit-faced drunk.
I have like
that
he has
sounds
his
like
own,
a good time.
Yeah.
he liked the music too. He had Jackie Gleason jazz album, like light jazz album. I have like 7 of them.
Really?
Yeah. I have I don't collect them, but if I see them, I buy them.
Jackie
Right?
Gleason.
He's like Jackie Gleason, fucking romantic, fucking. It's awesome. It's actually really cool. I play them when I try to get laid. Like if I have a chick over, I play.
Barry White.
Yeah, it's
Say,
my Barry
to
White.
the moon, Alice.
Yeah, every once in a
to
while.
the moon. So, what do you guys want to wrap it up? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
let's-
can-
We're done.
But like before, I was thinking. I don't know who I talked about yesterday. We should tell people like someone that we want to. Oh, check this person out.
Last week we did a band.
What band was it?
Stone River or something.
Oh yeah, I said Stone River.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Did anybody want to say someone to check out? It could be a band or it could be a comic. Is anybody?
Painter.
Like a
Fine.
house painter?
No, like a...
Yeah.
Where's it going with artists?
That is
House
just
painters, if you have one.
Do
Anyone.
you have it?
Do you have someone that you want to check out?
A friend of mine, his band just put out an album, Mandroid Echo Star. I forget the name of the album, but
What's the band called?
That was the show
Mandroid
you
Echo Star.
worked
What?
for?
yeah, Mandroid Echo Star. Mandroid
Mandroid
Echo Star.
Echo Star.
Yeah, they're great. They're fantastic. Actually, I think Jordan, you'd enjoy them.
The Mandroid sound like
I'll send you a link.
I'll check them out.
Echo Star. That's what I heard.
I
Mandroid
stuttered.
Echo Star. Mandroids are man robots,
Yes.
Thank you.
and a
Echo
star
St-
that
and
echoes.
Can we find them on YouTube?
Yeah. YouTube. They just put out one of those lyric videos, so it has like the lyrics to the song and the.
Okay, cool. So check them out.
Mandroid Echo Star.
And they're
Mandroid
they're
Echo
a
Star.
cool rock band.
Yeah. They actually have some pretty sweet merch too. They have. Gavin
I like
really
one of
the
their
shirt.
shirts.
It's a Viking riding a rocket.
It's very much like cartoon comic book style.
Yeah, it was really cool.
They got a comic book name.
Check out. There's 2. I want to plug my own radio show.
Yes.
Mixcloud.com/HCH. You can listen to all the old episodes. And the exclusive online one we put out yesterday, which is pretty good, or a week ago now, I guess. And also the I Heart Hamilton radio show, which is the show that airs right before us, which is pretty fucking awesome and can keep you up to date with everything that's going on in Hamilton.
They retweeted your episode. That was one of the people. Yeah, can we plug ourselves then, I guess?
Also, Podblocked is a podcast out of Kingston.
We did that.
Yeah, Joe and Chris, they're good guys, and their podcast is awesome. It's made its way onto my regular listening every week, so check out
It's a good
Podblocked too.
podcast.
And don't check out Mace. Don't check out any of.
Unless you want to check out Mace on Hamilton Comedy Hour. you
Yeah,
can do
except
that.
I'm giving away my album on my
Which one?
website.
Oh, are
My
you?
first album, yeah. So you want a free download. You got to subscribe to it, but you get a free download.
That's something I was gonna actually bring up. Is there like a market or a need for like a central? I don't want to say like MySpace, but it's the closest thing because it's music. But something like that for comedians, like locally, where you could go there and.
I don't know, but that's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah,
like if you wanted to have a comedian come to you like a festival or something, you could go to this one place and go, okay, here's all the comedians.
Well, they have the Toronto message board, toronto.com, but that's the only one I know, really.
Yeah, then we
I don't know
have
if
the
you-
Small Hamilton one, but
On Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen About.me. It's just like it's
I'm
basically
on
it's just
that.
your photo and then like information. It'd be something very simple like that, so everybody could maintain it like a couple of minutes, like something. I don't know.
Well, you're the web guy.
Yeah, that's
So
why. Yeah, that's why I thought about
You can
that,
build
yeah.
one
Yeah, for sure.
if you want to.
Well, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Thank you for having me.
What's your Twitter handle?
At N Tompkin.
There you go. Follow him on Twitter too.
Yeah, so
cool.
that's the show. Did you want anything
That's
plugged?
not, no, it's no,
You want to
I'll-
plug yourself?
nope, no.
Manolis doesn't want to plug himself.
See you next week.
Yeah, next week.
See ya.
Thank
Sweet. Bye, everybody.